Okay, let's see. Invite. Be right with you. Hey, Maniac. How was your day today? I'm just waiting for our guest. If you can share this out, Maniac, that would be awesome. I'm going to share it out on my phone. Hold on a minute, TCtv, and I will put the link in there. Copy. Paste. The link's in there, TCtv. Guys, if you can share this out, that would be a big help. Let's get some people in here. Hey, get her done, Granny. Okay, we're going to add her in.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Let me make sure I get this better. I don't like that. There we go. That's better. Let me take this link off so we don't get any stragglers coming in. If I can do it. I can't do it on here. I have to do it on my phone. Hold on one moment. Turn my volume down. That's not what I wanted to do. Remove. There we go. How to remove the comment. Right now, let me get my question. Okay. Whenever you're ready, Tia.
I'm ready. I'm just sharing it out some more.
Hey, Gemma, welcome. Guys, don't forget to share this out. Let's get some people in here. We'll be starting it in about 1 minute, so it gives everybody time to share out. Hey, Biological, how are you? Thank you for coming in. We'll be starting very soon. Hey, Nathaniel Lee, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for coming in, and it is time to start. I'd like to welcome everybody here. Thank you all for coming and for sharing out. It's greatly appreciated. Everybody, I want you to give a warm welcome to Tia, better known as TCtv.
Hi.
If you don't have her, grab her up. She's an awesome mod to have and a very good friend. And today we're going to have an interview with her on what it is like to raise a child with autism. So, Tia, can you tell us, in your eyes, what autism is? You know, kind of let people in here know that may not know what autism is.
Yeah, sure. I mean, autism is one of these things where it's like for my son, he's delayed on some things, he's delayed on speech, he's delayed on educational developments. And the thing, we go through periods where we'll have a meltdown, and a meltdown isn't a normal tantrum. A meltdown is something that affects a child because they can't contain what's going on inside their head. There's too much going on. It could be there's too many people. There could be, the situation that they're in, they can't handle it. It's like, for instance, I took him to the normal supermarket to go shopping, and he could not handle it. And he literally had a full-blown meltdown in the middle of the shop. And I sat on the floor then. I was just like, I don't care what people think. I need to get him to calm down so we can get the shopping done.
Mm-hmm.
But autism affects, I think, every person that has autism. I think it affects them very differently. He has sensory issues, so he likes lights and different materials, and once he gets hooked on something, it will take him a very long time to get unhooked from that thing. We have to have a routine. A routine is vital. You cannot break the routine. If you break the routine, it breaks everything. It's probably one of the worst things. You just don't break it.
Mm-hmm. How old was your son when he was diagnosed with autism?
He was 5 when he was diagnosed with autism, but I knew from the age of he was just after 2 years old. I noticed, and I picked up the signs, and I knew from then that he had
So
autism.
what type of signs did you notice?
He wasn't developing in his speech. He would stutter a lot. It wasn't a common, and I stood there and said to his the health visitor, I said, someone's not right here, because he should be kind of up where everybody else is. And he would repeat things. Big thing about repeating things. He could do puzzles, and the wooden puzzles, and he could do them in split seconds. And it was the exact same way that he had done it the previous
Mm-hmm.
times. He would repeat saying someone's name. So he would say, mummy, 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 mummy. And I'd answered him every single time that he'd said my name, but it was like he couldn't hear the fact that I'd said it. He has no problem with his hearing, but it's how his brain works.
Okay, before I do the next question, I just want to welcome Hot Mess Missy, thank you for coming in. Big Booms, thank you. Nathaniel Lee. Okay, Tia, did your son have problems communicating at all? I know you said he's delayed, but I know some of them can't talk that well.
Yeah, I mean, he had delays on um, his speech, and he would, as I said, he would stutter a lot. So the more he stuttered, the more frustrated he would get. And I started to, notice, and I got told by a speech and language therapist to don't tell him to stop and slow down. And I said, but that works for him. I said, you have to realize that everybody is different when they have autism. So one of the things that I found with him
Mm,
was if I got him to stop, slow down, think about what he said, then he would say it very clearly. But even to this day, he will still stutter if it could be he gets too excited or he's too tired or something's just bugging him so much that he will just continue to keep stuttering.
yes, perfectly understand. And a lot of people don't understand that when they hear autism, a lot of people I've noticed tend to think that everybody's into this small little shell and they don't realize it's a big spectrum disorder. It just, autism covers the whole spectrum of it.
No, it does, exactly. You're quite right. One of the things that I found with him was, I know he's high functioning. He will not stop. He will keep going and going and going. Where your average child would be in bed by 7 8 p.m. He's still going now, which over here it's just past midnight. So he will keep going until
Mhm.
the expression goes, he passes out, because that's the only way
Yeah.
he'll go to sleep.
What type of activities does your son like?
What type of activities does he what?
Does he like to do that kind of deals with his autism?
We do a lot of the way he handles it is he likes to play something called Minecraft. It keeps his brain occupied. It keeps his hands moving. He will consistently move his legs. One of the things I find is he moves his legs all the time. He also has restless leg syndrome, so even in his sleep, he will continue to keep moving his legs, no matter what he tries to do.
Mhm.
He'll sit there and play with Play-Doh. He likes drawing because mummy draws. Um, he likes to he enjoys going out, but the thing is, there is points where it can actually become very dangerous to him because he doesn't understand the whole, cars on the road. If you go into the road, it can become dangerous. I remember a time when he actually pushed me into the road but he didn't know what he was doing. So the thing was, like, I couldn't
Mhm.
tell him off because it was him just being him.
What type of therapies have worked the best with him?
Mummy's therapy. I found no
Mother therapy is
therapies.
always better.
Yeah, I mean, I found no therapies that would work for him that other than mine, because it was, I know you best. Every child is different, and I think when it comes down to the parents, you're the only one that knows them 100%. These people can recommend taking your child to here or here or here, but you're the one that will stand there and go, do you know what? I know this works for him. I know that works for him.
And they're more comfortable working with, their parents instead of strangers.
No, exactly. So he's so much more comfortable, and a lot of the time he also has separation anxiety, and it's in a way it's part of the way he is, that he doesn't want, he doesn't want to go to school. He wants to stay at home because he knows that, not to be funny, mummy's going to teach him best.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, how are you doing with handling this? I know a lot of parents handling children with different disabilities. It can be hard.
It can be hard. I'm not going to stand there and say it's the easiest thing to deal with for anybody. Um, but as I said, knowing your child best, the different coping strategies that we have. I mean, if we're at home and he goes into a full-blown meltdown, then we have the fact that, okay, we'll get the blanket, we'll cover ourselves, and we'll shut ourselves from the outside world. The dog helps because the
Hmm.
dog can pick up when he's having a meltdown. So the dog will come over and be like, hey, what's going on here? Um, but it is hard. I think for any parent, it's hard because the thing is, all you want to do is what's best for your child. And no matter how much you try, you can only keep doing what you're doing because your child is going to be proud of you no matter what. But no offense, sleeping for like 45 minutes a night can get tiring after 2 months, but you get on with it because you have to. No matter how
Hmm.
much you're tired, no matter how much they're playing up or everything else, and you're exhausted, you've got to keep going. So we'll try to do as many
Hello.
activities. We'll try to do as many activities as we can in one day, but it still does not burn off none of that energy that he does have.
So, knowing that it's tough, what are some of the challenges that you face as a parent dealing with a child that has autism?
I think one of the hardest things, and it was a big challenge because at the time I didn't understand. He would say some of the most hateful things. I wish you weren't my mum. I wish you were dead. All that sort of stuff. But he didn't understand. And the challenges that we face a lot of the time is when we're out and about, and we're going places, and because people, a lot of people are very judgmental. They do not, just because somebody has a disability, but it's not a visible disability. They stand there and be like, oh, there ain't nothing wrong with you. It's like, yeah,
Exactly.
you stand in my shoes for 2 hours. I give you less than 2 hours, and you want to stand there and go, I can't do it, because it is hard, no matter how hard it is, you know. But you do get the benefits from it too. The morning smiles, the morning good morning, mummy, the hugs and the kisses, and especially, one of the things that I think, makes me laugh with it is when he'll come up to me and he'll go, Mummy, I'm crafting and I'm dafting. Because he's being silly while he's crafting. But so
Hmm.
you get the best of both worlds. So and I always, one of my biggest things I stand there and say is it's not about what they can't do, it's about what they can do.
Exactly, their strengths. Which
Yeah,
brings us to the next question. What are some of his strengths with his autism?
languages. Very good at languages. He knows, obviously, English. He knows French. He knows a little bit of German. He knows Spanish. He's learning Italian right now. The next one after that, we're going to start learning Portuguese. Um, he's amazing at maths. A lot of the time, he thinks that he can't do it, but and it's because of the pressure at school. But the thing is, when I'm at home
Hmm.
with him and I'm sitting down with him, I'm like, Papa, you can do this. You're smarter than you think you are. And he will stand there. I mean, he done it was grade 6 work, and he's only in grade 2. And it's like, well,
Wow.
yeah, but that just
Yeah,
shows how smart you are.
my granddaughter has autism, and she was like that with a lot of the games. Like the Facebook games, we would play, the bubble games where you pop the bubbles,
Yep.
where we would be like at a high level, like not real high, but like 29 or something, and be stuck. And she'd be like, Grandma, let me see, I'll do it. And within
Yep.
like 3 seconds, and it was like, people don't realize that they are very smart. It's just in certain areas, because of how autism affects the brain, that in certain areas they're slower.
Yeah, I mean, I get the school report, and one of the things that it tells me on his school report is he's behind in English. He's behind on his reading. And I've tried to explain to the school, stop giving him stupid baby books and give him more complex books, because he can read a lot more complex than he can the basics. I mean, average kids go to the school library and want to pick up a fantasy book. He comes home and he's like, "Mum, look what I've got." And it's a book about freaking inventions. And I mean, the book's about that thick. And I'm like, okay, it's just another learning book. But it's more
Yeah,
complex. There's dates in it, there's times in it, there's different years in it, and there's so much that he can just suck in. He's like a massive sponge. You just suck in the information.
yes,
But if you
they
get him
are.
to try to write it down with his hands, he can't do it. He struggles so much.
Does the schools there have special programs for autism or disabled children?
No, the schools, there is special educational schools that a child can go to, but because he is physically able to walk and he can physically talk, he's not he's not eligible to go to this school. So he's in mainstream school. So I have to stand there and I have to have consistent meetings with the school to get them to understand at what part he's at and how it works. Regarding, I know that algebra and geometry is more difficult. He's only 6 years old and he's sitting there doing fraction work, percentage work for what a grade 6 would do. Every child has, stronger points in different parts, where his, as I said, his is
Yeah.
languages and maths and everything else.
Yeah, like my granddaughter lives in Ohio, and I know the schools there in Ohio, they have IEPs where they're in a regular school with regular kids, but they kind of have their things tailored to their needs at where they're at.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I'm working on with the school at the moment. Because they consistently, when he first started the school, I explained, this is what he's like, this is how this affects him. You guys need to understand, I know him better than anyone. We need to sit down and have a meeting about this, because, if you start giving him basic things and he can't handle it, and I mean, when you give him a basic book, I get the book thrown at me. And it's like, honey, I didn't give you
Yeah,
the book, the school did. But he'll still take it out on me, and obviously he doesn't understand, because he will take it out on the person that he feels most safe with.
mm-hmm. And I think that's just part of human nature. I know even us with no disabilities, we tend to lash out at the ones closest to us when we get upset and stuff. It's just unfortunately part of our nature.
Yeah.
Can you tell us some of the other things he struggles with?
He struggles with his writing. He struggles with. He still stutters at times. We're not as bad. He will consistently talk fast, no matter how much you try to get him to slow him down. And not everybody can understand him. So that's one of his struggles, because the thing is, people can't understand him. So he's looking at me like, are these people stupid? And I'm going, honey, they're just, don't ask, sweetheart. And I'll have to explain it to them. And I'm like, this is what he said. He gets, one of the struggles that he finds that is if he can't open something. You have to have everything pre-opened. Like it could be, if I buy a multi-bag of you guys call them chips, but we call them crisps. I have to open the multi-bag so that he can get the pack out, because if he can't get the packet open, he's gonna get flustered, and then I hear a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, simply because he can't do it. Crying is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, the first time he had a meltdown, because there is no books to teach you on how to hold your child, or how to deal with things. The first time he had a meltdown, he actually knocked out my two front teeth.
Wow. So, what is the biggest challenge you have raising a child with autism?
People understanding. People need to stop judging, and when they see him and they don't understand why, he's 6 years old, but he has something called a combi cruiser, which is a chair that is adapted to his needs. They don't understand the fact that, yeah, he can walk, but he has no issues about pushing you into the road, or he has no issues about having a meltdown in the middle of nowhere. I have the convoyed cruiser so that if we have to go further afield, so if we have to go to an appointment, we have to go on public transport. So it's all safety around him, but then people judge, and I'm kind of like, and I'm gonna be blunt because I am blunt. I want to punch him in the face because it's
I
like you have
completely
no idea.
understand.
It's like you stand in my
I
shoes for 24 hours and see how much you cope. And it's the judgment part that is my biggest issue with people, is the judgment. And it's like, you have no idea what he's going through on a day-to-day basis and what he has to deal with. So until you get to deal with a child with autism, or you work in a school with a child of autism, shut the hell up.
Yeah, it's frustrating, and sad at the same time. I can completely relate to you where I would want to punch them and cry at the same time, because of what they have to go through.
Yeah, it's very difficult for them, and the thing is, they don't need to be judged. He gets judged at school still, like, because, and I've tried to tell the school this. I've said, please do a assembly about children with autism, because, not to be funny, that will change the aspect of most of your students' minds on how they treat people. I had him come home one day and he said, "Mummy, I got a red card. Red is for bad behavior." I said, "What happened?" He stood there and said, "I cut a kid's chin open." I was like, "Right." And then he explained to me why he had done it. This kid had got so close to his face, and he doesn't like things in front of his face. So he went into defense mode, and yeah, he scratched this
Hmm.
kid and drew blood. And I stood there and went, "I'm not angry. You were doing what was natural to you." So I stood there and went, "Go on, you can go play on your Xbox. That doesn't bother me." But the school, obviously, they expect parents to be strict, and they should do this and they should do that. And I stood there and went, "How about someone get into your face? Tell me you wouldn't do the same." I said, "If you got into my face, I'd."
Yeah, my youngest was born premature. She doesn't have autism, but she does have learning disabilities. And I remember when she was in preschool, she got picked on because she was tiny because she was premature to begin with. Um, so, and she was real small. And I remember the kids in her class were picking on her, and I got a note home in her bag from her preschool teacher, stating that she had got in a fight. So her and I went down there, and I asked my daughter before she left. I says, "Did you start the fight?" She says, "No, mommy. He came after me and bit me, and then the other one took a flag and poked me with it." I said, "Okay, that's all I need to know. You did the right thing. You protected yourself." Because the one that
Exactly.
bit her, she bit him, and the other one that poked her with the flag, she took the small flag they hand out in school on Flag Day here. She took it and she busted it in half, and she poked him twice and said, "Now, how do you like being poked?" And the teacher was going to punish her, and I said, "No." I said, "I raised my daughter to protect herself." I said, "She's smaller than the other kids. She's going to because of her size. She's slower than the other kids, so they're going to pick on that." No. If you're going to discipline somebody, you discipline the one that started the trouble, not her.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing was, and to this day, I'm still fighting this school over it because my thing was, he did not start it. All he done was simply defend himself on a situation where he did not feel comfortable, and not one of you teachers were keeping an eye on my son. I said, you guys know how he works and what's going on with him. So, not to be funny, if you lot can't keep an eye on him, what the hell am I trusting you lot for? And I told
Mm-hmm.
them, I said, you guys keep pushing it. I will drop him out of this school and I will give you the most baddest reputation, because I will not tolerate someone you are discriminating and not helping a child that has needs simply because another kid had started a fight with him and he defended himself. So why should he be punished for something that this other little shit did?
Exactly. Tia, what is the proudest moment with raising your son with having autism?
Proudest moment, June this year, we had gone out and we were going for a drive because I have a mobility scooter. Because for everyone that knows me, I have fibromyalgia and multiple other things. So I'd taken him out for a ride, and we were on our way coming home, and we watched this lady collapse. She began to have a seizure, and I saw one woman jump over to try to help, but she was shaking so much she didn't know what she was doing. I'd been in a situation like that before, where I had helped someone in a situation where it could have been life or death. Um, so we pull up onto the path, we get down, he can see that there is blood. She was bleeding from the mouth and the head, and he could see that. And I took my jumper off to try to stop the bleeding from my head, and I'm telling him to stay with me because I need him there. So by the end of it, with all this commotion going on, everybody's panicking, and he's calm. He's holding her hand, and he's telling her that everything's going to be fine because his mummy has got her. That had to be my proudest moment, because the thing was, he could have reacted totally differently, and he did.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing was, it was actually his deputy head teacher, his deputy principal, had seen us at the scene. So the following day, she says, I need to speak to you. So I'm like, okay, what's he done this time? And she said, I saw you at the accident. We would like to do a thing in assembly for him. And I said, well, not to be funny, if you want, I will buy it, but you guys give it to him. I wanted him to have it's a glass plaque for his bravery and
Mm-hmm.
so I went out that day and I got it all organized, ready for the following morning when we would go into assembly. And so the deputy head teacher is explaining brief details about the situation, because obviously they're all very little. And they stand there and they give him his plaque, and to see the emotion in his eyes to realize he had done such a good job I was sitting at the back, and I'm sitting there and I've got tears in my eyes and I'm blabbing and I'm going, yes mate, you did it, you did it, you did it. Because he could have reacted differently. He could have gone the opposite end, freaked out, which means I wouldn't have been able to help because I'd have had to deal with him. And
Mm-hmm.
it was that, and he had got Pupil of the Week, and it was about space. Neil Armstrong, Tim Peake, and everything to do about space. And his teacher was so impressed with him on how well he took to it. And I said, yeah, because you found a subject that he's actually interested in. And so he got Pupil of the Week that week, and mum being as proud as mum is, because I deal with him by myself. I am a single parent. I'm stood at the back of the hall going, yes, mate, yes, you did it. Because he needs that extra encouragement to realize how well he did.
Exactly. Okay. In your experience, what is the biggest misunderstanding people have when it comes to raising a child with autism?
I think that, I think a lot of parents blame it on themselves that, they had caused it, um, which is a big misunderstanding because it's not a genetic thing. A lot of people have a big misunderstanding on raising children because they, uh, what's the expression? Cover them up in cotton wool. Where
Mm-hmm.
with my son, it's like, you're gonna fall, you're gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna do this, you're gonna be fine. Um, the only issue I had with him once was I explained to the school if he cries because he's hurt himself, you need to ring me immediately because he's done serious damage. And I got a phone call one day from his teacher uh, saying, "Can you come to the school? He's still crying." And I said, "What's he done?" And she said, "He's hurt his elbow." I said, "Okay, I'm coming." We ended up in A&E. He had actually fractured his elbow. Um, Normally he doesn't cry, so it takes a lot and a lot of pain for him to actually cry. And he did not stop crying. And I said, "Papa, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna, Mummy's gonna get you to the hospital. We're gonna get you X-rayed and stuff like that." But that's what I think a lot of people misjudge when they have children. I know every parent wants their child to be healthy and happy, and you know, I'm not even what's the word I'm looking for, because I don't like using the word normal. Have no issues.
Mm-hmm.
When they find out that they've got a child with issues, it's like, this is all my fault. It must have been something I've done, or I can't cope with this. And it's like, yes, you freaking can, because you have to. And I speak to a fair few mums that have children with some form of disability, whether it's ADHD, autism. And I've spoken to numerous parents, and I've stood there and said, it was never your fault. And I say this to this day: God gives the gifted children to the people that can handle it.
I agree. And people don't realize a lot of children with autism or any other type of mental disability, they're like angels. They have the most loving hearts that there is. I know even I've even met adults, and to me, most adults that have any type of mental or physical disability, I would rather have them for friends than regular friends because you know that they're true friends. You know, they wear their hearts. When they say something, they mean what they say. They don't
Yeah,
judge you by your outside. God gave them the ability to be, see from within, which a lot of us don't do.
no, exactly. I mean, he has probably got the most biggest heart I have ever met, and he wants to see the good in everybody. So
Hmm.
the thing is, I have to protect him from the negative, because even then he still sees the positive in them. And it's like, Papa, they won't change from the way they are. Mummy's tried to get them to, but it doesn't work like that. Um, One of the biggest people, he watches YouTube. One of the biggest people he watches for positivity, and we all love him, is Cap7.
I love Cap 7. He has such a big heart.
No, he does, and my little boy absolutely adores him. He was growing Ben a sunflower during the summer holidays, and every week I had to take a picture and I had to send it to Cap7 and say, "This is how far we've got now." Um, every time, if Cap7 starts a stream before little one has finished school, when he gets home, I have to put it on replay so that he gets to watch it. Um,
Hmm.
because he, he can't watch the nighttime streams because mummy stood there and said at the moment they're topics. So, and these topics are adult topics. So you have to wait until he comes on in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like the other day, Cab 7 got up to start dancing and get everybody dancing with him because he's all of. And my little boy pushed me out of the way. He said, "Mum, I'm dancing with him today." I was like, "Okay, fine. Just boot Mum out of the way. It's fine." And he is one of the people that he adores. He also adores. He calls him Cheesehead, but we know him as
Cheesehead.
Green Bay Wacky.
Yep.
He calls him Cheesehead because he's seen the cheese thing on his head.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried to tell him it's Green Bay Wacky, but he's like, "Nope, it's Cheesehead." I'm like, "Okay, I'm just not even gonna argue with that." I'm very restricted to what he is allowed to watch. Because obviously, he takes everything to heart. Even some of these Minecraft videos where he wants to learn more about Minecraft. There was a wolf the other day, and the wolf got hurt and died. He come into my room and he's bawling his eyes out, and I'm like, "Oh my god, what's happened?" And he's like, "The wolf died." I was like, "You're freaking out about that?" And then I was like, "Oh, honey, I'm really sorry that it died, and I'm sure it's going to come back to life, and everything's going to be fine." But yeah, he wears his heart on his sleeve, but he's got the most biggest heart, and he loves everybody.
They do. My granddaughter's the same way. I remember when she always calls me, and she's like, "Grandma, Grandma." And if I said I didn't feel good when I was talking to her, she would say, "Well, I'm going to make cookies and I'm going to go and I'm going to send them right to you." And there was times when she actually tried to send food through the phone.
Oh,
Her mother said,
bless.
her mother's like, "It's not going to go through that way. You're just going to make a mess." "No, I got to send it to Grandma." And she would push it and,
I was ill not so long ago. I was going through a really rough patch, and he had I had a family member that doesn't live that far away, and he had phoned her to tell her that mummy was sick and that she needed to ring the doctor for mummy. So a couple of weeks later, he got a letter through the post saying, "Such a brave boy," and they had given him some money so that he could go buy something that he wanted to. Not even, not to be funny, but not even every family member will accept a child for the way they are. My daughter has hyperactivity disorder, never been treated with drugs, just love. My son, probably a little person still in the testing. He is only 2 but has genetic defects. They don't know what yet. The time will come, Big. I'm gonna call you Big. The time will come, with your daughter, I'm proud to stand there and say my little boy is on no medication because I refuse to stand there and put him on any. I always have the expression, take every day as it comes. Every day is a new day. And, no matter how much they stand there, and then if they get into a meltdown and they say they hate you and they wish you were dead and you wish you weren't their parent anymore, deep down they really, really don't mean it. They are just in one of them frame of minds and they've broken down and they're going to take it out on you because you're the one that they trust the most.
mm-hmm. So, Tia, is there anything you hope that parents can take away from this interview with raising a child with autism?
Understanding. A lot of it, whether you have children with a form of autism or you don't, it is about understanding. And the next time that you go out on a street and you see a parent sitting on the middle of the floor in the town centre or a shopping mall or a grocery store or wherever you might be, don't judge because you don't know how hard it is. And the thing is, your dirty looks and you're like behind their back, that hurts us the most. Because the thing is, you don't know how hard it is. It is freaking hard. Every day is a challenge. Every day when I try to get him ready for school, it's a challenge. We have a meltdown first thing in the morning. He's holding on to the door frame while I'm trying to get him out the door. You know, just seriously, just don't judge anybody, because the thing is, you judge, you ain't worth it. And it hurts the parent because you don't
Exactly.
have an idea.
That's the main reason why I did my channel. My boys do not have autism, but they do have mental disabilities. All but I have 5 children. All but one has, mental issues. And what got me going with it is when I went to visit my boys. They live with their cousin, and when I went to visit, she had come right out in front of them and said, "Well, if you knew there was a chance that your kids end up like this, being disabled, why did you keep having kids?" And my boys were just like, and I felt I wanted to hit her,
Out of
and
here.
but and I told her, I says, first of all, the thing that got me is she works with Easter seals with adults that have mental handicap. So that coming out of her mouth, I was not real happy. And when I got to talk to my boys by themselves, I told them, I says, look, I says, I don't care what she tells you. I love you just the way you are.
Mhm.
I said, it's not up to me. If God didn't want you to be born, He would have made it that way.
Exactly.
I
And I
said, you're beautiful kids. I love you. Don't let her tell you anything different. And now they're like, they call me all the time and said, Mom, I'm tired of being here. I want to come live with you. And it's like, hey guys, you guys both get your disability checks. You know, you're in charge of your own money, so that means you can come and stay and live here whenever you want. My home, is always welcome.
no,
Because
exactly.
she's like what you're saying with the schools. Except for my boy's mentality level is that of like a teenager. They're in their 30s, but their, mentality is only that of like an 18, 19-year-old. And she's expecting them to act like a normal person in their 30s. And I'm trying to tell her, you're not going to get that from them. They don't have that capability.
Oh, you have
Their,
a right.
their mental age is that of a teenager. Don't pressure them and try to make them to be a normal 33, 34-year old, because it's not going to happen and you're just going to make it worse for them.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take their life as, this is the way they are. Don't try to stand there and freaking fix fix it. They are the way they are. You have to accept that. And as I say to my boy, no matter what, I said, you can, and I've said this to him, I said, you can grow up to be whatever you want, whether it's a fireman, a policeman, an ambulance man, not the military, mummy said. I said, I don't care if you want to grow up to be a freaking drag queen, honey. I'll do your makeup for you. But I will love you no matter what.
Exactly.
Because you are my baby and you are my only baby. I only have one child. He is my pride and joy. He is the life. He's the reason I get up in the morning.
And people don't realize that. I mean, I have 5 kids. All my kids except for one. Um, I'm in I constantly talk to, which is my oldest. Um, but all 3 of my boys and my youngest, they all talk to me on a daily basis, and I tell them each and every day, I love you. You are my world. You know, because they need to hear that. They don't need to hear that they're not, that they're imperfect. You know, they need to know that they're loved for who they are.
No,
No
exactly. And
matter what.
that's the best bit about it, because the thing is, no matter how much he can stress me out, or no matter how much I'm thinking, do you know what, I'm tired, I'm really, really tired, he will come up and he will surprise me with something. I don't know, I never know what it's going to be. It could just be just a hug,
Mm-hmm.
but that means the most to me. Love the name, Mike.
Does anybody have any questions for Tia? Yes, they are, FDL. They are very precious. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask.
I think no matter how much you try, um, always laugh and say I try to slap it into people. That you don't judge just because it's until you understand what they're going through, or uh, how their brain works.
Exactly.
Don't judge.
I know what it feels like to be judged. I had learning difficulties in school, mainly because I was born with bad eyesight, and I had a real hard time with a lot of different things. And all through school, I've been judged and everything, so I know what it's like to be on the other side. And that's why, I love my icon and my channel, because I constantly tell people, don't look at people with your eyes. Look at them with your heart.
Yep.
Because all you see with the eyes is, compare a person to like a nut. You want like a peanut, a regular peanut. The shell looks perfect, you know? But when you crack that shell open and get the peanut out, you don't know if the peanut's rotten or not until you open it up.
No,
And
exactly.
people are the same way. You don't know what a person's going through unless you see with your heart. Because when you see with your heart, you don't judge people.
No, and I think I go through depression and anxiety on top of obviously taking care of my son. He has separation anxiety, so we laugh when we say we're a team, because he helps me, I help him. He's the reason I'm still going. Um, yeah, I will help him with anything and everything. I mean, he's had days where he sat in my room and he stood there and said, "Mum, can I play with your makeup box?" I'm like, "You can have a look if you want." But every kid needs to explore life,
Mm-hmm.
whether they have some form of disability or something like that. I remember a time when I took him into a store and he couldn't open something, so his first reaction was to throw it. The lady behind the counter, the look she gave, that was it. I stood there and opened the sweets for him. I stood there and gave him the sweets, and then I looked at her. I said, "You really want to go down that road?" And I pulled her manager in and I stood there and said, "You need to sort this woman out before I end up hitting her." I said, "She gave my son a dirty look simply because he couldn't express at the time he wanted the sweets open, so he threw them. You
Mm-hmm.
either deal with her or I will deal with her. And trust me, if I deal with her, you're gonna need a mop." And yeah, I think she got a warning at work, or I don't know, I didn't go back. I have severe disabilities and have judged all my life too, even more now that I have. I think the world needs to change. It really does.
Yes, it does, and that's another, why I do my channel. My channel is solely dedicated to mental health, the different issues, teaching people how to deal with anxiety and stress on their own, how not to judge people. Because I think to begin to change it, it has to start with educating people. Because a lot of it, like you said, is they don't know. It's sheer ignorance.
No, it
So,
is.
if you start by educating, that's why I did the series, and then the interviews is a way that they can actually hear from somebody that is either suffering with a mental disability or is a caregiver or that is associated in some way with the disability, so they can see what it's actually like instead of just the education about that disability.
No, it is. And I think that, not to be funny, the more people out there that can educate and guide people to not judge when they see different issues going on and out and about, the more the world is going to become a better place, because they're going to stand there and go, "Oh, I get it." I have a grandmother. She's my grandma. She lives in the States. The day I told her that her great grandson had got autism, back then when she was teaching, she was a very snotty teacher. It was, kids don't have issues, they're just naughty little brats. And the day I told her that her great grandson had autism, I went, "Don't mess with me on this one." And she started to ask me questions. She said, "Well, how does it affect him? How does this do this and how does that do that?" And I explained it all to her. And I said, "Don't make the same mistake you did all them years ago." I said, "If you judge someone again, you're going to be hated for it." I said, "And especially, you don't judge my son." Because me and my grandma have had issues in the past, so I was blatantly just telling her how it was. Joe, my son texted me out of the blue and asked me for lunch tomorrow. It helped me get back into a better mood, because our children are our world. Yes, you're quite right. Our children, I can't express when it comes to our children, because the thing was, he is my life. He is the reason I get up. He is the reason that I keep functioning. Even with the fibromyalgia, I have to get up 2 hours before he does, because I have to get myself functioning before I even attempt to get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
Once I'm up, I'm making it.
We it's sad because, like you said, people judge, they only see, if they can't see the disability, people judge, and it's so wrong to, you know. I have a sister that has fibromyalgia, and she can't hardly even move,
I
you
have
know.
I have good days and I have bad days. The cold weather at the moment has been kicking my ass, because my knees are starting to lock up, my ankles are starting to lock up. I get the feeling of swelling. I get it's like pins and about 1,000 pins going into the top parts of my legs. I constantly feel like I've been hit with a baseball bat everywhere. But the thing is, I have to get up, because if I don't get up, who's going to take care of him?
Hmm. And I completely understand, my kid, when I lost my husband to cancer in 2012, I was about ready just to give it up. But because I was with my boys and they were in contact with me, they kept me going. And
Your
so I,
children do. No matter how much you're going through tough time, your children are the reason that, a big thing for me was my son is the reason I'm still alive. With everything that I've gone through in the past, he is the reason that I'm still alive. It is, and it is an invisible disability, and it is one of the things where, because they don't understand, or they've not heard of it, or they don't know no one with it, you're on that judgment path again. So I'm kind of like, bring it, Tootsie Roll. I'll put you on your ass. Because I'm at this point in my life where I'm like, I'm not going to tolerate it anymore. You can stand there and say shit about me behind my back, but when you mess with my child and you're judging a 6-year-old, then I have a reason to not be so nice.
Exactly.
And I do. I turn. I have mental health issues too, so I can turn so quickly. But then I look at him and it's his face that stands there and calms me down again.
Yep, they have a way of keeping us going and keeping us calm, and I don't even think they realize it sometimes. Yes, we are, ZZ, but unfortunately, not everybody looks at it that way. Unfortunately, the world is cruel out there. And a lot of it's just from ignorance, and some that's just like Tia said, they're just not going to change.
Exactly. FTL, I love that saying. It's my saying. Hashtag bring it on Tootsie Roll. That's my saying. I say it to my little boy all the time when he's messing about. And I'll say, you see them people over there? And he's going, yeah. I say, if you're getting into a fight with them at school and stuff and you've got to stand up for yourself, you tell them, bring it on, Tootsie Roll. Because I am originally from the States, so I was brought up in the States. Well, obviously, I know all the saying, a lot of different things from the States. My son being English and born in England, I have to stand there and keep the traditions going of the sayings that mummy uses.
Mm-hmm.
And even to this day, if I get into an argument with an adult, I'm stood there going, yeah, bring it on, Tootsie Roll. Then they're looking at me confused, and it's like, how can you not get that? I'm saying bring it on, dude.
And some
You
people,
started it, I'll finish it.
yeah, some people, they know they're just like playing stupid too, unfortunately.
Yep, there is some of them people out in the world.
I want to thank everybody for showing up for this interview. Interviewing people that deals with mental illness in any shape, form, or matter is important for everybody to know what it's like. Maybe we can break the stigma, you know.
JLA, that's what I called it. It's hashtag bring it on Tootsie Roll. It's the new hashtag.
Yeah,
But it's mine.
yeah. Well, it's like mine that I used to love. I got from Pat Benatar with her song "Hit Me with Your Best Shot."
Yep.
When, that's what I used to say to people. It's like, just hit me with your best shot because I'm the one that's going to be marking my lipstick case while you're down on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that one.
FDL Seeker, you're never late. And just showing up when you did is, I'm very grateful. And
I
you know
think
where you can reach me anytime. You know how.
one of the things as well with parents that have got children with difficulties, you have to find something that relaxes you. And it takes the pressure off. No matter how much I stand there and get stressed, I'll go outside, I'll have a cigarette, I'll come back in, I'm feeling all right after that.
Yeah.
But if I'm pushed too far, then I'll stand there and I'll be like, right, I've got to make something, or I've got to get the hammer out, or I've got to get the drill out, I've got to do something.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing something. There's some things that I'm going to be doing on how to make cheap, inexpensive anxiety toys like the stress balls and some other things. And like what I have when I was doing VAT 19 mystery boxes, and in one of them there was a punching bag that goes on your desk. That's good when I get stressed out, but I end up knocking it off the desk because the stick, after a few punches doesn't stay that well.
No, exactly.
So I sit there and I have a fidget pen. It has a fidget spinner on top of it that's, attached to the pen. And when
Yeah.
I'm frustrated or whatever, I'll sit there and spin that thing for hours just until I calm down.
I used to do lots of sports before I um, figured out that I'd got fibromyalgia. Um, so a lot of mine were anger management sports because apparently I was an angry kid. It wasn't that. It was just the people I was living with. So I used to stand there and do kickboxing. I used to do boxing. I used to do rugby. I used to do baseball. Um, basically any contact sports where I could potentially hurt someone, I was in it for the winning it.
Well, me, I couldn't do sports when I was a kid. I tried. I remember my best friend tried to teach me how to play tennis, and I almost killed her accidentally, not trying to, but I managed to hit her in the throat hard with the tennis racket. I said,
Ow.
"Oh, yeah, it was like, okay, this sport's not for me, forget it.
Yeah.
Didn't do it."
That was my thing. I'd done all the sports because and my nan, because I went and spent a lot of time at my nan's, she had a punch bag in her shed. And if I came in with a face looking like thunder, as she put it, she would look at me and go, "It's outside." So I would go beat the living life out of this thing. I'd come back in and she goes, "Do you feel better now?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "What happened?" And then I'll stand there and tell her, "Are you used to spinning in a meeting and speaker called out?" Funny, I sound
JLA,
bad.
don't let them make you feel embarrassed. Use that as an opportunity to let them know that you suffer from anxiety and stuff, and that's just one way that you deal with your anxiety. If people don't know, they think it's just a toy. Because I know like some autism toys, to help them, some of them look like something you would give an infant, like the teething ring.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't explain to them that that's a mechanism that helps you deal with your anxiety or, whatever you're going through, they don't know. Don't, let it embarrass you. Use that to educate them because if they're not educated, they're gonna be ignorant about it.
No, and I mean, my little boy at school, he has a special box on the teacher's desk where he has different things that if they're trying to get him to sit still for a couple of minutes, they will give him a toy out of this box that it is a special autism box,
Hmm.
and we call it the glitter box. So he'll go up and he'll get a toy out and he'll sit there and play with it while he's looking at the teacher and he'll twist it and turn it but that's his way of trying to sit there in a um, meeting.
JLA, if they told you it was just a joke, then you need to explain to them that it's not a nice joke and that people that suffer from it, let them know that what they think is funny is not funny to you or to anybody else with that disability. That's another thing I try to tell everybody is if you know somebody with a mental or physical disability and you say a joke that you think it's just a harmless joke, and it's not. It hurts that person, but you have to be the one to educate them. Because a lot of people don't know, they don't take the time to learn about any of the disabilities. So you have to be your own advocate and let them know and say, yeah, I know you think, okay, you thought it was a joke, but it wasn't funny to me because I suffer with this. And this is, helps me to calm me down.
So like I tried to educate in a polite way, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then I turn to educating in my way.
Yeah, the first time you try to be polite, if that doesn't work, well, then you be more stern, like Tia says, and you just come out and say it, because you tried being nice the first time. And, just let them know, hey, I tried to be polite and be nice and let you know the first time you didn't change, so now I'm letting you know. Knock it off or pay the consequences.
Exactly.
But don't let anybody make you feel belittled because you're using that. If that fidget spinner was helping you out, continue to use it.
I always
Um,
have a thing where, don't be bothered what people say, because not to be funny, one day karma's gonna bite him in the butt anyway.
exactly. If you're comfortable using that, one of the things, like I said, I'm going to be doing is showing everybody how to make a very inexpensive homemade stress ball where you don't have to go out and buy it or wait for it to be delivered. And the only thing you're probably going to have to buy is two items if you don't have one or two of them. Is a funnel with the thin opening and a bag of balloons. The other one, you could use sand to fill it with, rice or flour.
Flour.
And it's inexpensive. And, that's what I do in my second playlist I have is different ways to deal with anxiety and stress. You could take, like she says, be like her son's teacher, but use it for yourself. Take a small little bag with different things to help you deal with your anxiety. If you have a Android JLA, I don't know if you use an Android or iOS, but if you have Android, there's a free app in the App Store for anti-stress games that you can sit there and it's just a free app and it's just different games to deal with anxiety, stress, and anger that you can play on your phone. That's meant for that. It has ambient sounds where you can listen to it to help you relax. But don't let anybody make you feel belittled because
F
of what you do.
FDL, I totally understand that. I have already taught my little boy that, not to be funny, if you see a dog wearing a Pacific jacket, you do not touch that dog, because that dog is working. That dog has to be the eyes for somebody, or that dog is helping them because they've got emotional problems where sometimes people need to cry for no reason, and sometimes people get very, very sad, and there's something called depression out in the world. Um, and you don't get me wrong, there's some things that I try to avoid the subject of conversation because he'll ask so many questions.
Hmm.
Um, he asked one of the funniest ones he'd said to me was, "Mum, why can't our dog have puppies?" I said, "Honey, he's a boy. Plus, he doesn't have the bits to make puppies." And he was like, "Well, he has a winkle." I said, "Yeah, but there's other bits that need to work to make the puppies." And yeah, that was a very long conversation that night.
Yeah, you trying to be as discreet as possible.
Yeah.
My youngest, when she was 5, she was the same way. And we we lived in New Hampshire at the time, we lived in an old tape house. So the bedrooms are basically like up in the attic where the roof is. So you can't put a door there because the wall's like this at a slant. So we just had made like a curtain type door.
Yeah.
And we waited to go to bed until like 2 or 3 in the morning. And we thought she was sound asleep because we checked on her and she looked like she was sound asleep. Well, we got a big surprise. She wasn't sound asleep.
Mm.
Yeah, the next morning when my husband, when he was well before he got sick, when he went downstairs, he looked and seen her doing something she shouldn't be doing. And he just says, "Hon, I think you need to speak to your daughter." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Let's just say her and a teddy bear." And it's like, oh, good God.
That's
And
the thing. I think kids want to experiment, but the thing is, nowadays it's getting younger and younger.
yeah, I
My
mean, she
6-year-old
was,
has a girlfriend, and there are rules and regulations about the minute she sets foot in this house that mum has got eyes on the back of her head and all around her head about what's going on, and I'm listening. Even though I'm sitting on YouTube, I can still listen to a conversation, even if they're whispering. I'm like, don't try to play that one on me. I know what's going on.
JLA, don't ever hide your depression and anxiety because that's not healthy for you to begin with. And as you said, it makes you feel even worse. Don't be ashamed of what you have. You have a lot of people suffer with anxiety and depression. Don't ever hide it. The best thing you can do is educate people about it. The more you hide it, the harder it is. Just like me, I'm legally blind. I've been wearing glasses since I was 2, but obviously they didn't help. Um, I used to try to hide it from a lot of people. I didn't want a cane. I didn't want a service dog. And then when I got to a point where my eyes got worse and I did get a service dog, it made it a lot harder for me because people were seeing me as not having a problem because, they didn't know. So hiding it is only going to make matters worse for you. It's always better just don't hide it. If you have anxiety and depression, just let them know I do suffer from anxiety and depression, and I have certain techniques and things that I do to help me cope.
It's like, for instance, JLA, you see me as happy-go-lucky. But what's behind me or inside me is a very different matter. I will be honest, I was so nervous about getting up onto a panel and talking about my little boy. Because obviously I protect him and everything about him. And the more I got on here and the more I talked about it, I was like, actually, this needs to be talked about because there is not enough people out there that are talking about it. And I started to feel
Exactly.
better. But I've got little bits. I've got a habit. When I sit there and I'll find something that I can sit there and pick at. And I've got a
Well,
bunch of tiny tissues sitting on my bed now because I was sitting
I
there all the
do
way
the same
through,
thing.
twisting it and twiddling it and
I
breaking
do
it into
the same
pieces.
thing, but you notice I don't have long fingernails.
I
I
do.
I can't have long fingernails. I'm too busy. When I get stressed out, I'll pick them, and if I can't pick them, if I have like a loose piece of skin on my finger, I hold my hand down where nobody can see it, and I'll sit there and try to break it off. We all go through it. I've never been diagnosed with anxiety or depression to be on medication, but where I grew up with bad eyesight and not coddled into, my dad could put me in a special school for the blind, but he felt that wouldn't have helped me, which I had to agree with him because if I did, what would happen when I come in the real world?
Hi,
You
James.
know? So, but I went through it. I've had people pick on me all the way up, and I've just gotten used to it, and now it doesn't bother me. But yes, I have anxiety and depression, but I've just never been on any medication or anything from it. But I do smoke, like you do, Tia. And I
Okay,
did
that's why I was switching my camera off to do it politely. I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna go have a cigarette.
I asked my doctor about like the Chantix to help me stop smoking, and he came right out and told me. He says no. He says you've had depression and you had anxiety. He says I don't care if you never had it before. You had it when you lost your husband. He says you can't tell me you didn't have it after being with somebody for 30 years and then they're gone all of a sudden. You
No,
know.
exactly. Do you smoke on panel or do you switch your camera off to smoke?
I don't normally smoke on piano because I don't normally smoke in this room because then my walls in here will get yellow. So I
Okay.
normally step outside. But I had one right before I started.
I want to show JLA something. You know, I go through it, depression and anxiety, one of my biggest anxiety things. And I'll show you, and I get it, and I've had it since I was about 11 years old. But I got my sports top on underneath this. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it.
Hey, James the sharpshooter.
Oh,
Thank you for coming in. You are such a sweetheart. JLA, reach out to me on my Twitter so we can talk.
I have stress spots all over my arms, all over both arms, because I sit there and pick them. And it's to do with my anxiety. No matter how I try to remain calm, but it doesn't always work. So one of my stress reliefs is sitting here, like literally, and I'll be sitting here and I'll be like this. No one can see it because a lot of the time you see my head. That's it.
Yeah.
So when I'm sitting there doing it, I'm like, I've got just like my anxiety's playing up. I'm just gonna sit here and do this. But then at the end of the day, I end up leaving myself scars because I've
Yeah.
done it so much. And I've tried to get out of it. I really have, but I've had this since I was probably about 11 years old. I'm now 27. It ain't going away. So I'm kind
No,
of used to it now.
you just have to find, like you said, different techniques for yourself, like a stress ball, or that you could sit there and play with when your anxiety flares up and different things like that. Do you do any essential oils, Tia?
No, what I tend to do is I have what are they called? The scent sticks. And I will listen to really relaxing music. Because that's my way of trying to de-stress myself. I have a scent stick at the moment and it's called Dragon's Blood.
Have you
And it
tried
smells amazing.
lavender?
I can't do lavender.
Lavender is very, very calming.
Yeah, very, very sneezy.
If you have hay fever, yes.
Yeah, that's a fail for me because I suffer from hay fever and so does my little boy. And plus I don't like the smell of lavender. So I have to go. I have a shop in the town where she sells oils and incense sticks, and I will get ones that I know I really like. So Dragon's Blood being one of them because the smell that it gives off is it's astonishing, and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing.
The smell's okay, but you gotta remember each scent helps with certain things.
The Dragon Blood seems to calm me down.
Have you? Do they sell a? They have pendants. I don't know if that store would have them, but it's a pendant where you can wear the dragon blood scent.
Yeah, I think they do because they're quite a unique shop. They have
If
lots of different things in there.
if that scent is really good for you, I would suggest checking to see if they have the pendant where you can put a couple of drops of the dragon blood essential oil on it. Maybe a diffuser. They have shower bombs and bath bombs to where you have that scent to keep you calm all the time.
Yeah, I mean, we have multiple bath bombs in the house because it's something that helps my little boy calm down as well. So we will find ones that are fruity. We will find ones that are the only one he's not allowed to have is lavender because obviously it starts mummy sneezing, then it starts him sneezing.
Yep.
But regarding JLA, I knew a lot of people that used to be cutters. And yeah, it is hard to stop. And, I had to drill this into a friend's head once that there are people that still need you. I know it can get hard. Trust me, I do. But YouTube is always a community where you can come and you are going to be loved on, you are going to be hugged on, you are going to be. That's how we are.
Mhm.
And no matter how hard it is, when you're going through a hard day, message one of us on Twitter. I've always got my phone next to me.
Same here. I, a lot of people that I know need, that need to talk to me, whatever. Um, when I personal message them in the Twitter, I'll give them my phone number and just say, feel free to text me or call me anytime. I don't care if it's 3 in the morning.
No,
I don't care.
exactly. If it's 3 in the morning, it's going to be about 8 o'clock my time. So I'm going to be up. I'm going to be up and going anyway. So I don't go to bed till at least probably about 3, and I'm up by 7. So
Yes, and FTL Seeker, I don't know if you got in Twitter yet, um, but I would recommend it because I know a lot of times you've asked to talk to me on the different things, and as far as your service dog, I know exactly what you're going through with that because I did have a service dog. I've had two of them, as a matter of fact, and a lot of people that have service dogs go through that. But you need to reach out, like Tia says. YouTube, since they took that thing out, you know, it's hard to talk to people now. So that's why Twitter's good because you can DM a person, which is just like, it's an instant message where just you and that person can see it, nobody else. And this way we can keep in touch, and if you ever need us, we can be there.
I know it's hard to reach out when you're having a bad day. And I know that you don't want to. And I have people pick up on if I'm having a bad day.
JLA, none of us like crying out when we're in hell, but unfortunately, if we don't and we carry things alone, we don't normally end up having good. It doesn't end up good. Um, I don't know if anybody's heard. I don't remember the woman's name, but she was bullied a little while ago and she took her life. I'm trying to think. Brandon Marlowe had put up a video on it saying just remember she was a mod to a lot of people, I guess. And another YouTuber did his form of joking, which wasn't funny, you know, and it really got to her and she just couldn't take it no more. And I don't want to see that happen to anybody. And I know what it's like to suffer, with anxiety, depression. I even know what it's like to be lonely. After I lost my husband, I didn't want to be by myself. I couldn't take being by myself. I wasn't ready. And he's been dead since 2012, and it took me all this time to be able to finally be by myself, where I don't have to have anybody with me. So I know what all these are like, and nobody should go through any of them alone, you know? Okay, FDL Seeker, I will look you up and make sure we're connected.
I'm on
it.
I mean, I've had some really, really hard times, and the one person I knew I could reach out to, and he would keep it so private, was Cap 7, and he knows a lot about me.
Yes, Cap 7 is awesome.
He has seen me go through the darkest times of my life, and he's been there to help me, guide me, and make sure that I'm still going because I need to be.
I got your FDL Seeker. Well, now you know you have somebody else here.
Always.
I mean, I've always seen you on, Green Bay, Easy Cap 7 and stuff.
I'm
But
bouncing everywhere.
It's like, I have no way, I've always tried to follow you, and it's like, I never thought of Twitter, and it's like,
No, yeah, I'm everywhere. I always have been. I think that's one of the biggest things is I'm always so bouncing around all the time, so it's hard to track me down sometimes.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Everybody knows me for the same thing. It's like, I'm everywhere.
It's like I'll go to crafting streams, and then I'll go to Green Bay stream, and then I'll go to cab stream, and then I'll be bounced somewhere else, and I'll go to a paranormal stream, and I'm just literally everywhere. Hi, Roland Homestead and Wild Edibles in WI. That's a mouthful, but hi.
Yep. I just say Roland Homestead. It's easier.
Tia, being here was a nice bonus for me. You do keep bumping into me. The first place I met you was Gill Skills, and at the time I was very, very drunk.
But it was good to see you let loose like that.
Yeah, trust me, that won't be happening that often. The hangover I had the following day was rough. That was a bad day. To the point I drank that much, and I think I ended on probably about 13 shots of Jack Daniels. Plus, I had a gin before that. Plus, I had a wine before that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad day the next day.
That it was 13.
Yeah, that was a bad day the next day. I was like, please just wake me up on Sunday. I need Saturday just to lay in bed and run to the bathroom every now and then.
Unfortunately, kids aren't like that.
Oh no, I got up because obviously I had to deal with him. So we went to the shop and he's going, Mummy, you're right. I'm like, yeah, I'll be alright tomorrow morning. We had met in Cab 7s, but yes, girls, we got to know each other better. Yes, you kept referring to my leather leggings.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm in my skull ones.
I don't blame you. I love my leggings. They're so comfortable.
I'm wearing my skull ones at the moment, so. And it's like, because it's like a sports outfit, they're more comfortable to wear because I can't wear jeans that have got buttons on them. because
Mhm.
it's not because the jeans are too tight. It's because they dig into my stomach, which then causes more pressure on my stomach.
Mhm.
So then I
I
have
don't.
to stand there and wear leggings all the time.
I don't like jeans a lot because they're more stiffer. So they're not breathable. So, and with me, um, I get hypoglycemia real quick. My body temperature will drop real fast, and when it's hot, I'll overheat real quick and dehydrate. So when I wear jeans, if it's hot, it makes me to overheat too much, and if it's cold, the jeans just kind of hold in the cold, and then my legs turn into like ice, and I can feel them. But with leggings, they're allowed to breathe and stuff, so my legs don't feel that bad.
I have that problem where if I do wear jeans, and it's very rare that you'll see me in jeans, and I start to get that feeling of swelling. I remember saying to my rheumatologist, what I'm worried about is that if I go out somewhere and I need to pee, and I pull my trousers down to pee, I'm not sure if I'm getting them back up. He said, don't wear jeans anymore. He said, wear your jeggings, wear your leggings, wear your tracksuit bottoms, wear your tracksuit bottoms on very bad days. Um, try to wear stuff that you feel comfortable in. JLA, I know I'm your new to YouTube crush. I'm very flattered.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have a very weak bladder after having 5 kids, and I recently went to the doctors for my physical and found out that my kidney, it works fine to an extent, but what's happened is my urethra tube is supposed to be inside the kidney, going in like this, and mine's on the outside.
Oh,
So if I have to go to the bathroom, I can't fool around trying to unbutton and unzip and
oh,
I
I know
did
that
that.
feeling.
Yeah, and I used to do landscaping, and God, I can't do it now if you paid me, because in the summertime, just one bottle of water, I'll have to pee like 5 different times. Where most people, can drink a couple of bottles of water and be fine. Me, one bottle of water, that's it, I'm done.
One glass of water and I'm done.
Yep,
I
that's
know
why I don't drink a
JLA.
lot of water.
I know JLA. R5 got replaced. R5 used to be his YouTube crush, and now I am.
Well, R5, I don't think matters. She's got a lot of people that like her, and she's all over the place, especially like on Spicy's channel lately. So, what time does your son normally come back to you?
What time does he normally get up?
Come home, like, or is he not home? Is he home and in bed, or?
He's next. He's literally the room that's like that. There. Um,
Okay.
is his bedroom. So he's curled up. Seems to be quiet. So I think he's actually gone to sleep. But it doesn't always work out that way. I think I told you that night I was buying a plane ticket. A plane ticket to where? I can't remember what was said that night. I remember to the point I wasn't typing anymore because it was not safe for me to type. I couldn't see straight.
Now the good thing is you were home, so no matter if you passed out, at least you knew you were safe.
No, exactly. I mean, I think I used to go out drinking when I was probably like 18, but that was obviously well before I had my little boy. And I always went out with people that, um, was safe enough that they would get me home and I'd get them home. 99% of the time, it ended up me getting them home. So when it came to obviously having an odd night where I thought, you know what, I'll have a drink and I'll have a laugh with everybody. It was like, oh, I forgot what this felt like. It's nearly been 10 years. Wow.
Yeah,
And oh,
I used to drink. I don't drink no more because last time I have a bad habit of alcohol just intensifies my mood. It doesn't calm me down. So if I'm upset and I drink, it just intensifies that.
I think mine's worse because, like, when I drink, you think I'm blunt now. Just think I'm 10 times more blunt when I've had a drink.
Welcome, St. Casper.
Oh,
I'm the same
Casper!
way. Well, where I'm from in the States, I was originally born and raised in New England. And in New England, like Massachusetts and New Hampshire, their attitude's different than down here in Texas. We were raised to be blunt, and so, you know, somebody looking at me the wrong way, I used to explode, or I was really quick to open up. But since I've been here for over 10 years, like my boy says, I gotten soft. My boys keep telling me, Mom, you need to go back home. You gotten too soft.
I was born in Portland, Oregon. Remember being raised there right near the university, actually. I can't remember what university it was. It was literally right across the road. The house that I grew up in, I know that has now been knocked down because they turned it into, obviously, student residence. Because there was a day where I wanted to plan to go back to that house and see it. But I think throughout time, the more stuff you deal with, the more blunt you get. You're kind of like, do you know what? I've already told you once. Do I have
Hmm.
seriously?
And I used to be like that all the time. Like I said, because I used to get in fights every time somebody picked on me with my eyesight or something. But when I come down here, I put up with too much, way too much. I'm like Cap 7. I have such a big heart that it just takes a while now for me to really blow. Unless I'm drinking. If I'm drinking, I'll blow quick.
See, I can blow quick, drinking or not drinking. It just depends what I'm blowing up about. Hi, John, Isabella.
Now, my best friend was from Rhode Island, John.
Sharpshooter, nice to still see you.
James is such an awesome, awesome supporter.
He is.
I
I
love
know. I've
James.
known him from practically the start.
He's like Cap 7. He has such a big heart. Well, I don't remember. I think she's from Warwick, Rhode Island, but I know she was born blind, and I couldn't believe what she does. She's a computer tech, believe it or not,
Good on her.
at a college, and she's totally blind.
But as I said, it's not about what you can't do, it's about what you can.
Oh, yeah. I have a lot of friends that helped inspire me with my eyesight problem. Another one's a regular teacher, and she goes skydiving. I told her, I said, well, that's one thing I'm never ever going to attempt.
I got told to become a teacher, and then I said to the teacher that had told me to become a teacher, I said, you got a lot more, at the time, I said, you've got a lot more tolerance than I do, and a lot more patience. Obviously, now that I've had children and stuff like that, it's, I'm a lot more tolerant and laid back than I used to be up until you wind me up.
And you're probably more tolerant and understanding than a lot of the teachers are.
No, I am. I still have debates with the teachers at his school.
Sometimes I think, that's why we're given like kids with, God's gifted us with children with disabilities. It's to help us to understand a lot more.
And it does. It gives you a whole new outlook on life.
Yep, my late husband, like he had severe PTSD from when he was in the service and stuff, and I always thought that I had good patience. Well, I learned what patience really was when I married him with a lot of different things.
I think that's part of the reason, John, that I want to come back to the US is because, it gives my son the there's no discriminating against, his abilities and what he can do and what he can't do. And he wants to see the town that his mummy grew up in. And eventually I will come back, but as most people are aware, I still have issues going on here that need to be sorted out.
And when the time's right, you'll return.
Yep.
Yeah, New England's good, and jobs don't necessarily discriminate that much, but there is discrimination, believe me. When I was in New Hampshire, I have a big, thick photo of when I had my seeing eye dog, but it's all, of course, ignorant from different people that don't know. You're not going to get away from that.
Yeah, if DL, I mean, I suffer with PTS now, so it's still one of these things. I have to handle it, and it's very hard at times. That the expression, I lose my head because I want to just let loose, and I can't because obviously I have a 6-year-old with me, so I'm kind of like, yeah, let's just go home.
Sometimes that's the best way to deal with it. When my husband had his PTSD, he had it really bad, and I mean, I had it for a while. When I went through something traumatic, um, where I didn't have nightmares from what happened. I had what they called night terrors, which are
Mm-hmm.
worse because you can't talk about it. Because you just wake up in a sweat, screaming and stuff, but yet you don't remember anything. So there's no way for you to get that out of your system.
Yeah,
I
I
had
remember the nightmares.
I had to go through counseling. They tried hypnosis on me. They tried imitating the REM movement. I just, like you said, I just had to learn to deal with it and get out of it because it was to a point where every time I closed my eyes, whether I was awake or asleep, I would see that vision that would get me going, and it was horrible.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember a lot of the time, I'd sit in the bathroom, and I'd just cry because it was every time I shut my eyes, I could still see that person's face, and
Hmm.
I could still hear what he would say. Um, and I've learned to stand there and block it out the best of my abilities, I've learned to block it out. But there is sometimes where I'm that laid back and relaxed, it happens, and I'm like, no, what did I do wrong? Why didn't it work?
Yep.
But it never goes away.
And there's certain triggers, you could be sitting there in a good mood watching a movie, and all of a sudden something in that movie triggers it.
Yeah, that's why I don't watch movies anymore, unless they're Christmas movies, which are always happy.
Well, it's like me. I don't watch TV. I don't actually go out with anybody. I don't go and really socialize with anybody. My family is scattered all over the place, so I'm not close to my family. So, like, even when my late husband passed, he died at home by his choice, and just watching that process and everything with, if nobody has a support system, it's really rough. You have to have a good support system.
JLA, if they're the deal breaker, I'm a Christmas addict as well as a Halloween addict. I love both times of year. I'm one of these people. I'm always happy when it comes to that time of year. But then I get to see my little boy stand there and experience what he gets to experience. You lost your wife 5 months ago today. I haven't been out with anyone other than my son.
I'm sorry about that, John Isabella.
John, I'm sorry, but it will get easier in time.
And the good thing is you have your son to help you keep going. When I lost my late husband, I wasn't in contact with any of my kids at that time. And I came close to committing suicide. I couldn't eat, I didn't want to eat, I wasn't hungry, I couldn't sleep. I was a mess. I mean, I used to, in my bedroom, I have a huge walk-in closet where I can literally, if I wanted to, put like a small bed in here. And if I took the shelves out, put a dresser in there and stuff, and it would be big enough. And I used to go in my bedroom, lock my bedroom door, go into the closet, make sure the lights turned out, and close that door, sit in the dark, and cry myself to sleep. And a very good friend of mine pulled me out of it because he seen the road I was going down, and he said, "You can't do this." And it's like at that time, I felt I had no choice, but I'm thankful that he was there to stop that.
My son is 15 now. I contemplated suicide, but I have to be around for him. Exactly. There was a time where even I wanted to end it because I couldn't cope with everything. I was tired. Life was just, I was in the darkest spot of my life. And then I looked at the picture of my little boy and realized why I was still going.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to keep going because if I wasn't around, who would be there to take care of him?
Exactly. And even when they're grown up, like my boys are, like I said, they're in their 30s, but they keep me going. My kids, it's like, no, I can't go. I gotta stay for them no matter how hard things are. I gotta manage. I gotta make it through it. Well, I think I'm going to let Tia go, guys. It is very late for her right now, and she has been so gracious to stay up late with us. And I thank you very much, Tia, for allowing me to do this interview with you.
I appreciate you asking me. It's the first interview I ever done. Seriously, I was like, it's an interview. It's Friday. I got an interview. Oh my God, I got an interview. And I did. I started to panic, and then I had One of my good friends, Dreamwalking Angel, she was like, "You'll do fine."
Oh, Dream Walking Angel is an angel. I love her so much.
And Alicia is the best. She is
Yeah.
amazing at crafts too.
Speaking of people that we know, the Thursday, I believe it's Thursday after Halloween, I will be interviewing City Girl Country Heart,
Oh, awesome.
dealing with her epilepsy. She's had it rough. And a lot of people don't understand about a lot of these different things. And, I'm just so thankful, that you all agreed to open up because I know a lot of people suffer from different things. And I'm talking to a lot of them and they're like, well, I'm comfortable talking to you in Messenger, but not on a panel or anything. And it's like, okay. But, if we don't talk about it, we can't make people aware of it and break the stigma.
No, exactly. And the more people that we talk about it with, the more understanding people become.
So thank you everybody for coming and staying. And Tia, I hope you have an awesome rest of the evening.
You'll probably find me somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off here and go light up a cigarette, bring my phone outside, and check and see what's on. I'm never away from YouTube. I'm on YouTube basically from the time I get up to the time I go to bed.
Exactly.
I'm either working on my channel or I'm in somebody else's live stream or supporting other people. Even when I go to bed, I have YouTube on. And I'll just tell them, look, I'm going to sleep, but I'm going to leave you running.
No, exactly. I mean, I've sit there and I jump down from cabs and I'm like, I'm not falling asleep just
I'm
yet,
so
but
glad you came in again, JLA. Thank you so much. Thank you, John Isabella. Thank you, James, my brother. I love you.
love you, James.
And to anybody else I missed, because it shows 10. So I'm not sure who all was still in here that I have not mentioned. FDL Seeker, thank you again. And guys, remember, reach out to me, Tia, somebody. I know we don't like reaching out to somebody when we're going through a bad time, but believe me, it will make it go by a lot quicker. Even if you just say, look, I just need somebody to talk to. You don't even have to talk
Speak,
about what's going on.
speak of the devil. Look who just came in.
Hey, Alicia, my beautiful sister. Now I can't leave yet.
We can't leave. She's just got here. Alicia, I was giving you lots of compliments earlier, and saying how well you are at your crafting.
She is so beautiful, and she's got the beautiful voice of an angel.
Oh,
Too.
yes, she does.
Well, I will be right back. I'm gonna let you hold the fort down for one moment while I go get me a cigarette.
Oh, awesome.
I don't normally smoke in this room, but I'm gonna now.
Yeah, you are gonna now. So what's cracking, people? Alicia, love you to pieces. James, love you to pieces. FDL, can't wait to have a chit chat with you. JLO, I know you're in love with me, and I can accept that. Night, JLA. Have a good night, sweet. No drinking. Alicia, I love you. Oh, look at the doggy. I saw the doggy. Hello, doggy. Aw, I was so glad to see you. And TCTV speak of the devil. What? It's an expression. You know that. It's like, yeah, I was talking about you. How did she know? No, you know I have all good intentions, Naisha, and I love you to bits.
My dog's trying to come in the room.
I saw your dog. It's well cute. My dog's laying on the floor with himself sprawled across the floor.
Well, I don't have a little dog. I have a big dog.
Mine's a little dog.
Oh, since the interview is over, I am going to post the link.
Alicia.
Okay. Oh, come on. You're not doing what I want you to do, stupid thing.
That's my service dog, Care Bear. She is in lots of videos. Oh.
Okay, the link's open for anybody that wants to come up.
Come on, Dream. Come on, Dream. I need Dream. I have a song now. You should make me an intro. I'll make you an intro. I have no issues about making intros. Gives me something to do. Come on, Alicia.
She has such a beautiful voice. I listen to her all the time. Another one that has a good singing voice is Faith in the Fallen.
Yep.
Come on up, anyone that wants to come up.
She said, hang on, gotta close my door. Okay. Close.
And since we're adults in here, I'm going to smoke.
Okay, James. I put a spell on you. See, Nanisha, you've got the Hocus Pocus song in my head. All that Hocus Pocus crafting you've been doing.
Come on up if you want, FDL Seeker. That's fine.
We're all adults and all the kids are asleep.
Anybody's welcome to come up now.
So I remember the first time I tried getting into Dreamwalking Angels StreamYards, and I was like, I'm here, and she obviously couldn't hear me at the start, and I'm going, I'm here.
No, when you're in the what we call the cellar or the basement, people can't hear you.
I know, but the thing was, I didn't know that, so I'm sitting there going, hello, can you hear me? And she's going, and she's still talking on stream. Hi.
Hey, FDL Seeker, how are you, sweetie?
I'm okay. The weather is giving me a little bit of a problem with my dystonia, but otherwise I'm okay.
Yeah, I hate the cold. That's why I moved to Texas.
I think if I come back, I'm going to Arizona.
I hope you don't mind hot weather.
I like hot. It doesn't cause me as much pain.
Yeah, I gotta find the one that's between hot and cold, so. because it just doesn't work very well for me.
No. Arizona gets really hot though. They have their temperatures are hot in the high hundreds most of the time, but it's a dry heat.
Yeah.
Normally July and August will hit 100 a few times, but it's not always hot.
Well, hey, what up, recycle dude? You can jump on if you want.
Hey, recycle dude.
Oh my god, that dog is so cute. Oh
I
my
love
god, that's so cute.
Where's the camera? There it is. See?
Okay, now you just look like a fluff ball.
She's a
Now,
Pomeranian.
is that when your service dog or your pet?
No, this is the service dog.
Oh,
I would
bless.
have a problem. I know the rules with service dogs, but I would have a problem because I love Pomeranians. But I
Yeah.
would always, because I've had a service dog, I would always say, "Do you mind if I pet your dog before I pet it?"
Yeah.
It's like for my little boy, any dog that he sees and he wants to touch every dog.
And
I stand there and I go, you have to wait, mate. You need to ask first.
I do
And
greatly
he does
appreciate
now.
the fact that you taught your kids about service dogs. I like that.
It's for me, it's a sign of respect,
Hey,
knowing full well that that person's got enough difficulties as it is.
Yeah.
Don't touch. There's a dad that takes his child to school and it's got a service dog at the same school my little boy goes to. And he knows when he sees that dog, he is not allowed to touch that dog because that dog is working. It's doing the job, the guy is walking, but it's doing the guy's job of using the dog's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so he's seeing for the man because the man can't see. And he's like, okay, I get it. And he won't touch a service dog. Nalisha.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, TC. Good to meet you, FDL Seeker.
Nice to meet you too.
She my southern girl.
Yeah.
How do I?
Yeah, she's my an angel.
Uh-huh.
How do I just turn my symbol on instead?
If you
That's kind of a mess in the house. I don't want to.
right, if you've got your phone, are you on your phone or your
My
computer?
phone.
If you tap the screen, it should show you stop camera at the bottom, or like a camera symbol, so you can switch your camera off.
Okay, there's a video thing. I've never been on StreamUp, so I don't.
There you go.
There you go. But now I just got a little gray man. Oh.
Yep.
All right. Sorry about that.
I still haven't figured out how to put a symbol thing on mine yet to make it look like my picture.
I don't have one on mine, but when you shut your camera off, you go to the little icon thing. Let's see, stop cam. I'll put mine on.
Well, I think I added the picture in my profile so that
Oh, okay.
that's what I think. It was a while back, and I've
Yeah, underneath it will show you.
Oh yeah. I got a spot to upload.
It looks like a picture.
I found it.
You lot are more technical savvy with StreamYards than I am.
See, like mine now, if I turn my camera back on, should be my face. But like if I turn my camera off, you should just see that.
Oh, that's how you do it. I got it.
Yeah,
See?
I'm working on mine too.
On the bottom, you see a blue thing that looks like a picture next to the mic. You click on the picture.
See, she's so talented. Jeez.
I'm telling you, she knows things.
I know she's like the wizard of YouTube and stuff.
No, I just do a lot of research. And I listen to a lot of people that's done it.
I gotta put this photo up for a while. It's adorable.
Oh, don't be spam.
Okay, now I'm gonna get everybody back up. I don't know how to do this. I'm still learning, guys.
I want that one. Do it. Yes, I think I've done it. Does it do it now?
Apply.
Yes.
Here we go.
It did.
Got all four of us.
Mm-hmm.
You guys see Kimber in her Halloween costume?
That's so cute.
Okay, good.
Aw. And the little red bow tie. Oh,
She's supposed to be a penguin, but she doesn't like the thing that goes over her head.
she
Oh,
could be the 11th Doctor in Doctor Who with the little bow tie.
She used to have a tux that had tails. The tux that had the tails on
Yes.
it. And then she had a little bow tie that was so adorable, but she doesn't fit in it anymore at all.
Oh,
our
but she
dog
is
has been a vampire this year.
Oh yeah. I have custom made, professionally made custom fangs.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a friend.
FPL Seeker, can you put, if you know somebody that can do custom made things like that, you should see if they have like can do a sweater for her that says, please don't pet the dog, she's working.
Oh,
Or
like
just,
patches, you mean?
yeah, just some where people can see it automatically that just says, please don't pet me.
Yeah,
Or
I don't
please
have
don't.
anybody that does custom patches, unfortunately. I'm working on trying to save up for some patches and stuff, but I'm also trying to get another service dog because I need one for more mobility work. So, and she doesn't work mobility unless I was an infant.
Yep.
She's too tiny.
I got a Shih Tzu cross pug, and he's my emotional support dog when I have to go out.
Oh,
So he's got a little jacket and stuff when he goes out, and he's got the support vest that shows he is emotional and support dog. So obviously people won't come up to him and start stroking him and stuff like
right. Where are you? Right. Like I know you said you weren't in the U.S. So.
that. UK.
Oh, they allow. Okay. I didn't know they allowed in the UK for emotional support public access.
They
It's
do, because the thing is, it's like I trained him
Yeah.
the way he is, and I've spent hours teaching him, when I have an anxiety attack, that he's got to jump up onto my chest and don't give up, because I will eventually, start playing with him. And he's been there when I've had anxiety attacks, and he's jumped up and he's, nagged me to keep playing with him, and I've ended up having to play with him. And by the time the ambulance has got to my house, I'm already calmed back down again.
Yeah,
So
dogs are
So
great.
you
for
trained it
emotional
for a task.
Yeah, I trained him specifically that he would pick up on anxiety attacks and meltdowns.
Then your dog is not an emotional support animal. It's a service animal.
But he also does the emotional support, because
Well,
when I
yeah.
go out, I can't cope with the fact that there's dozens and dozens of people in the town centre. My anxiety gets well bad.
Well, exactly. But I mean, if the dog is trained for, I don't know if. Well, to see here in the U.S. the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, covers a person to train their own dog.
Okay.
And is seeing that your dog is a task for your dog, it would be covered under the ADA as a
All
service.
right.
Yeah. So it would be covered as a service dog under the ADA.
We got him when he was 5, and
Mhm.
the woman that had him before me didn't treat him right.
Oh.
And there is times when, and it's not because I'm raising my voice at the dog. I'm raising my voice in general because we have quite a long house, so I have to stand there and yell down the corridor and say dinner's done. And he will flinch, and then I'll burst into tears because I'm like, I can't have any more kids, so you are my baby. And it's the same with the cats. As much as they get on my nerves, because I have 2 1-year-olds, well, a brother and sister, and then I have he's about nearly 9 months old, a black and white cat, and because he's the baby, he's the playful one,
Mhm.
and he won't leave me alone. So there'll be times when I'm trying to cook dinner and I've got him between my legs and I'm going, can you just out the kitchen? You know, I'm still training him because I don't have the only time that I will allow my animals to come in my kitchen is when it's food time.
Mhm.
Other than that, they're not allowed in my kitchen.
Right.
My
So
dog, yeah, my dog's not a service dog. It was he's just a regular pet, but he goes right now. He has separation anxiety because he's gotten so attached to me that he won't even eat in the kitchen. I have to bring his food in the bedroom
Oh.
because he won't eat if I'm not there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get another service dog right now. Because I'm really having a lot of problems. With mobility and my dystonia and things like that. So I'm trying to get a bigger one to help me to be a little bit more independent again.
Have you tried Helping Hands?
Right now I'm filling out paperwork for a place that's near me that works with PTSD dogs. So because I also have K-Bear was doing a lot of that work, but she's 14, so she's kind of slipping a little bit. So I'm gonna try to go through there first. But I need so many different things that it's like, I don't know which one to go through first. But I'm gonna try that one first.
Yeah, I should get me another service dog, but I just haven't got up to doing it again because I don't like being labeled.
I don't think anyone likes being labelled, but the thing is, when you need that help, you need that help.
Yeah. It's so hard though, because you go out and you can't even go out just to get a gallon of milk, because everybody's like, oh, or it's all these little things, and it's like, and then you're like, oh, I wish I had a service dog. It's like, oh my god, no, you don't.
No, and that's the thing. It's because when you have a service dog or emotional support dog, you're labelled as, in my case, oh, she's a nervous wreck. And it's like, actually, no, I'm not. I'm human.
Yeah, to me,
I'm a nervous wreck when you wind me up, but that's about it.
right. It's like it's like everybody views your medical equipment, which is what the dog is technically in terms of things, but people just automatically assume because it's a dog that they can pet it like you're some kind of walking petting zoo. You wouldn't do that to somebody's wheelchair, like, oh, you got such a nice wheelchair, can I pet it, touch it, you wouldn't do that. But just because it's a dog, they think they can break all rules, even when you tell them, please, and I find it's like adults that don't listen more so than kids, because some
Exactly.
kids know, and they look at you funny, and I'm like, well, he's working, she's working. But adults, like, well, I can touch them, if I want to, it's like, no, you can't.
Yeah, it's like when I had my service dog for my eyes, my first one was perfect. Um, I didn't have to worry about anything. But when she retired and I had to get my second one, the schools have changed a lot of their policies trying to appease the public opinion, which
Mhm.
I don't think was right because the public opinion doesn't understand their work. Like you said, that they're a working dog, they're not a pet. So the second one I got was more lax and didn't do what she was supposed to do. I mean, you go out to a restaurant, they're supposed to go underneath your chair and stay underneath the table, And she would constantly try to pull and get away and try to go and get food from other people. And when we were somewhere else, she was there, you know. She just didn't do what she was supposed to do because they were so lax. So how was your day, dream walking?
It was a very long day, and I've been pretty tired because I did an 8-hour stream yesterday, and I just didn't feel very well afterwards, and I rested today. I just got through eating a little while ago and listening to y'all talk about the wonderful dogs you have reminds me of the beautiful dog that I had that was such a support to me. He passed away 3 years ago next month, and I still have his ashes. He was a very beautiful, smart husky, full
Oh,
blooded, that I
beautiful.
rescued him from a very bad situation. And he loved me more than anybody in the household.
That's
Had
awesome.
separation anxiety. He was a great big dog. He would never stay in the backyard and I wouldn't have wanted him to anyway. He stayed in the house except to go outside and do his business. But
Yeah, way mine is.
when I'd stand up, he'd stand up. When I'd sit down, he'd sit down. And even when I had to go to the bathroom, he would lay with his back up against that door. Or he'd block the door and didn't want me to leave to even go to the mailbox. And he would cry when I'd walk down my driveway and just about tear the drapes off the window. When I was always afraid he'd break the glass and cut his sweet little paws, but he didn't. Um, if anyone else would come in the house, he would stand beside me and put his paw up on my knee and look at that other person. He would
Yeah.
always get between me and somebody else. And one time when I was really sick and I had pneumonia, and on top of that, I have sleep apnea. I stopped breathing in my sleep. And I don't have a CPAP machine. I haven't gone to that, but this dog jumped on my bed and woke me up when I stopped breathing as well. And I went to the doctor and I had pneumonia. And, the dog always knew when I was very, very sick. This dog was not trained, but he was so in tune to my emotional needs and my physical needs. It was like I didn't have to teach him that. He just instinctively knew that his mom loved him and I'd take care of him, but he took care of me too on so many levels. And I don't have another pet. I'm not allowed to have one where I'm living now, but I will never forget the bond that that dog had with me and that I had with him.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
animals are beautiful. Their senses are so much more in tune than we could even think.
This dog went to my kitchen sink when my granddaughter was living here, and got her bowl out of the sink and got her spoon also and brought it to the living room floor. I had drove her to the bus stop and I came back in the house. The dog had the bowl and the spoon together. He knew that those things went together, and he was in the floor and I said, "What did you do?" And I've got that on the video where I'm talking to him. "You knew you were not supposed to go to the sink." I was going to come back in the house and tidy up the dishes, and it was just down the street and back. By the time I got back, the dog was helping himself in the kitchen. And I fed him twice a day, but if he didn't get it when he wanted it, he'd pick that bowl up and throw it across the living room floor if it was empty and he wanted it. Um, he was just spoiled, and I gave him healthy treats, and I have a fenced in backyard so he could run and run and run. And they say that huskies always jump fences and try to run away. And he looked at it one time and looked back at me and never dug under and never tried to jump it.
Yeah, my dog's the same way. 'Cause I have a pit. I call it a pit terrier because it's not the wide pit, like a bully pit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just real loving, but with everything I've read on pits and everything, they're supposed to be aggressive towards other dogs, and that they're good for escaping and jumping fences. My neighbor has a little Shih Tzu, and he the Shih Tzu came in the yard one time, and they were just playing fine. Any other dog that comes in the yard, he doesn't try to get in a fight with them. He just plays with them, and he knows when to be gentle. And he's real good, and he's never tried to jump the fence or get away. The only thing he goes after is the squirrels.
That's hey, Boomer's in the chat.
Boom.
Boom,
Did
boom.
you sleep?
Hey, Boomer!
Hello. I can't see the chat, so because of my phone. But hello.
What you doing, Boom?
Yep, 7
Good.
hours. Awesome.
Good. Used to moan at me when I didn't sleep, so I'm just checking.
Did you notice that she's starting to get my accent a little bit?
We've spoken so much. How can I not pick it up?
Oh, why do you sound so Appalachian all of a sudden? She doesn't really know what Appalachian is, I don't think. But
No.
it's a certain side of the mountains where people sound a little bit different than Southern.
Hey, I'm different from everyone.
Well, so am I. Think Dolly Parton or Loretta Lynn. That would be Appalachian accent more so than Paula Dean.
Yep.
So I was just trying to explain to someone from the UK the difference. It's absolutely the same. They're both Southern, but there's a difference to the sound.
Lay down right after my live and fell asleep. Good?
Good.
No, I'm going to be checking up on you, the fact that you keep checking up on me.
Did you see me there, Boomer? That was a joke before he ended his live stream. I said, sleep. Really? Okay. Good. See you there. Dream, walking, angel. It's kind of something we mess with each other with a little bit. We joke around.
I think we all do. And what's not be funny, it makes us, I would say, normal, but well, none of us are normal.
Normal's just sitting on my dryer.
Yep. Hey, laughter's the best medicine.
That's true.
I have to enjoy kicking someone's butt once in a while, though. Okay. Hi, James. You're back. And in 2.5 hours, I'll be back to do another live, maybe?
Oh, gosh. I'll be asleep again. I held off going to sleep when you said, Nalisha, I was talking about you. Come up. And I did. I was so sleepy after I've eaten.
Well,
Yeah.
it's now 1:30 in the morning here, so.
Yeah, I was just about ready to close down the chat in the stream when you popped in. It's like, no, I can't now.
Oh, Eileen, that was so sweet. You didn't have to do that.
Yes, I did. I don't get to talk to you that much.
I know. And Eileen, I've missed you. You're dear to me. I didn't know where you've been. I haven't got one notification from you. But you were very sweet to me, and I think highly of you.
Notifications don't work that well on YouTube.
Oh, that's true. Well, so now she knows how I feel, y'all. That settles it. We're friends. Oh gosh, the sharp.
I was really glad to be able to interview Tia because talked to her in cabs, talked to her in Green Bays and stuff, but never ever actually got to talk to her.
That's
I know, and it was an honor because, as I said, it was the first interview I'd ever done.
so you said you was going to do an interview. That's right. And then I got busy and didn't ask you further, and now I know. And Eileen will have to go back and listen to the very intelligent young lady that you interviewed tonight.
Yeah.
Did you not get my message saying? Did you not get my message going? I'm shitting it.
Well,
I was like really nervous before I even got up on it, so I'd sat there and twizzled so much little bits of little paper on my bed. I've got to now put them in the bin.
I got that message, but I didn't take it quite the way that you're meaning it now that you're saying it. I have an American brain and you have a UK speech pattern. So when you said I'm shitting it, I thought you were having stomach issues. I didn't apply for the interview.
Oh, that's a funny one.
Yeah, well, I just didn't even inquire because it was TMI at the moment. I thought, why is she telling me this?
That means nervous, love. That means nervous.
Not to us. It's a totally different thing.
I know, but that's when I have to stand there and even little man can know when I'm switching accents because he's like, Mum, what do you mean by that? And I'm like,
Well, just I did get the message, but I didn't press because I thought you were having a problem.
The whole thing to keep it cool because it got warm, and if he sees a cat or something, it's gonna make noise. Okay, had to get me some water.
I've always got a bottle of water.
are you still crocheting?
Oh, absolutely. You hear me counting? Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, because you have to remember, I sit on enough Google Hangouts chats with you when we're talking, and I can hear you go 1, 2, 3, and then you're like, I'm counting. I'm like, I know, I can hear you.
When I would crochet and I had small children and they'd run up and start talking to me, I would count louder 6, 7, 8. Like, can't you see that I'm counting? Rude. And you have to remember, I had 4 little ones.
Yeah, no, I have 1. That's enough.
I know, but you got to remember I was outnumbered. And when I'm counting on my live stream, James the sharpshooter will start putting numbers up.
I know.
He is so funny.
He does. He tries to put you off.
He doesn't. He just entertains me. He never puts me off. He never has messed me up with my numbers, but he does crack me up.
Well, good to see you. I gotta go show and get ready for my 12 a.m. live. Much love, keeping it real. That would be 5 o'clock my time, yeah? Boom.
I'll probably go to bed at 12.
I'll probably be going to bed when you end your live stream, Eileen.
No, not yet. You ain't. I need to talk to you.
Oh no, girl.
Only for a couple of minutes.
That's fine. I don't mind talking to you. I was just like, it better. I hope it's something good.
Oh,
Yeah,
trust me, it ain't.
That's also one good thing about StreamYards is when you have people on the panel, you can actually shut the broadcast down and everybody on the panel can still talk.
That's like Google Hangouts was.
It's pretty cool.
Yep.
That's a nice feature. When the YouTube ends, we are still there until we hit the leave studio button down bottom.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Is it hard to learn to use Streamline?
No.
Oh no, honey. If I did it and I do it, you know, a trained monkey could do it.
FPL Seeker, I have a tutorial on it that will help you out. It's
Oh, okay.
really easy.
Okay, cool.
Now, if
Nice.
it was Streamlabs, that would be totally different. I can never understand Streamlabs.
No, I went into that one time and I got almost, I thought I was going to have to pay for it and I couldn't. I just caused a whole bunch of problems for myself. And I'm never going back there again. I was like, get me out of here. It was almost like a fun house with the mirrors. Like, how do I even get out? This is crazy.
A lot of people just like the Streamlabs because when you're under 1,000, they can get like super chats where you can't do it with YouTube.
Oh.
How do they get the super chats connected through Streamlabs? Because
it's like this. When somebody donates through Streamlabs, because it's like the PayPal, but it's through the Streamlab. What happens is when people click on that Streamlab link, it brings them to Streamlab. They then have to sign in like they would PayPal, and you would donate like that. So it works more like a PayPal type thing, but it will show up on your screen.
Well, I've done StreamYards, but I saw Nerd of the North does Stream Lab every morning.
Yeah, Streamlab is hard to learn. I just rather stick with the easy StreamYards and.
So would I. Cut the stress out. Life is too short.
I mean, I'm not near being monetized yet, but if somebody wants to donate, they can go to my PayPal.
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my 4,000 watch hours before YouTube does what the rumor mill says it's going to do in January.
They're not going to change. If rumors, everybody's always said rumors. I don't think they're going to change the 4,000 hours.
Well, I heard somebody say that their friend got a letter.
What are they changing it to?
10,000.
If
YouTube was going to change it to the 10,000 or any other number, they wouldn't just send it out to one person. They would inform everyone.
That's
because it would affect everyone. It wouldn't even go to a letter. It would go to your email. And a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of YouTube scams out there too.
Oh yeah. There's lots of them.
So if she got a letter, if her friend did get a supposedly letter and it's the only one, it's probably a scam. But they're not going to change it from the 4,000.
I hope not, because I'm closing in on 4,000 and I'm working really hard to do that. I've worked for 2 years to get there.
If anything, they would be doing more changes with live streams more than that, mainly because YouTube was mainly meant for creating videos. And you get a lot of people with the live streaming. But I think on the live streams, if anything, they're going to crack down on the so-called silent streamers.
That would be good.
I don't really see the point in those.
They're doing it for the watch hours, and that's it.
Oh.
So they'll put like a bubble thing up or a sign or something and walk away.
That's
Just to get their watch hours.
To me, that's not. I just can't get. I can't get my head around that. It just seems so stupid.
Yeah, and I think those are the type of things that YouTube is going to be working on cracking down. Is that, and this isn't verified. It's just my feelings. I think they're going to be cracking down on a lot of these networking channels that is more like a sub for sub type thing.
they call them support streams, but just
Yeah,
because
like the Friday Grow streams.
Yeah.
just because you change the word doesn't mean you're not doing the same thing.
Yeah, because everybody in there is on the basis when you go to the Friday Grow streams. Okay, that's what it means is grow. You go in there and you're expecting people to sub back to you.
Right. Exactly. And just because you change the vocabulary does not mean that you're not doing the exact same thing. You
Yeah,
just
especially when, like when, Tia, you remember when Gil had that conversation, right?
Yep.
I told him because I was blind because he wanted me to make sure that everything was going to be okay. And I told him during part of it, I mentioned to him in Hangout, I said, look, I got to leave. I said, I know you're trying to bring out a point. I know you're friends with the Grow team and everything. I says, but I don't agree with it. And this is getting too heated. And I might say something or do something that I'm going to regret. So I'm leaving the chat for a while. Because I don't agree with the Grow streams. If you're not going to take time on a regular stream to say hello to everybody and you're going to sound like you're at a damn auction,
right. That aggravates me.
that's not networking. If you work at a business and like when I did my landscaping and I had my other businesses that I did before, I was a member of the Chamber of Commerce. And I used to go to networking lunches. Networking is getting to know the people. You say, hi, how are you? You carry on a conversation. You don't just go when it's like they were throwing, business cards. Because basically, that's what they want you to do in there. Hey, this is my channel, sub me.
Exactly.
It's like throwing a business card. If somebody just comes and throws a business card, I'm going to throw it away.
Right.
Yeah.
In real life. What makes people think that on YouTube that I'm not going to do that?
Yeah, I'd rather have people come to my channel and stay there.
Exactly.
I don't like it when people come to my channel and go, I saw you on so and so's channel. Come check out mine. They didn't
That's
watch my video.
when they ask
They
you
didn't
to,
watch my video or anything at all.
Right.
yeah, when I get people like that, I don't even say I'm going to return their visit. When they say, hey, I've seen you like from Pusha, I say, well, that's great. Nice to meet you. I hope you decide to come back and watch my videos so you can learn and see all the different content I offer. Or I ask them a question about the video, and a lot of times it makes them feel guilty when they do come back.
Well, there's good guilt and bad guilt. I don't feel bad about that.
I don't feel bad about making comments like that when I see it, It's like, hey, what was about the video that you liked, or what didn't you like? Could I let them know I value your input because the input lets me know what I need to change, if anything.
Right. That's what I would like on mine too. Is somebody to, view the videos or my YouTube channel in general and just, give me some ideas and let's have a meaningful conversation over it.
It's like, with James the Sharpshooter, Remember one video I put up, I did not realize it didn't have any sound on it. And when he commented, he says, sis, no sound. I was like, huh? What? It's like, thank you for letting me know. You know, so I had to take it down and re-put it back up and get the comments. But that's what I love. And he always gives me a good, I know he watches the videos because he'll comment on what the video is.
True.
And his feelings. And I love that, you know, that, hey, if somebody doesn't agree with what I'm saying, let me know. Hey, you know, this is good, but it doesn't work for this or that.
Oh, he just put up a smiley face with a wink in the chat. Oh, he's like, got you. Yes.
He does. I mean,
got her back.
David Sharpshooter is such an awesome supporter, friend, mod. I mean, he should do a video for how people should be just by him, you know, because he is such a good example on the way you should support people.
$17, 18.
He's probably getting tired of seeing all our icons, though.
No, I'm just chilling.
She's picking with me because she could hear me counting my crochet stitches. I'm making a baby dress.
Oh, cute.
Oh, heck, I tried to crochet once when I was in school. Forget it.
Oh,
I-
God.
No, that's why I'm asking her to teach me.
Oh, you got to try more than once.
It's easy to learn. It just takes a while to get it right. Because when you learn, they start you with doing just what they call the chain.
Uh-huh.
The first one, not a problem. Second one was a little too tight. The third chain came too loose. And it's like, oh, forget it. I can't get it as good as the first one came out.
You can't give up on the first or second try. It takes practice. It's a skill set, just like anything else.
The only thing I can crochet is finger crocheting, and I can make a neat bracelet.
That's nice.
Or a long rope.
That's fun to do as well. It's fun. I just picked this up today and thought, I'm going to make this little girl this cute little baby dress. And I'm about half done with it now. And Tia will call me out because she'll hear me going, 12, 13.
Yeah.
And I heard her giggling over there. And I was like, 16, 17. Because when you talk while I'm counting, it kind of messes me up. So I get louder so you'll know that I'm counting.
I used to love doing latch hook and what's the other one? Like embroidery.
Needlepoint?
Yeah.
Or cross stitch. And I've done all of those, and it's so therapeutic and it's so relaxing. And I've made rugs, I've made throw rugs, I've made braided rugs and quilts and afghans, and I just made all kinds of stuff in my little life.
Oh, I still have the Afghans that my grandma made me, even the one that I was when I was little.
My adult children still have the baby blankets that I made for them. And the grandkids have the blankets that I've made for all of them. And so I don't always crochet, but I just saw this and it was cute. And I said, I've got to get that for that little girl, and I need to hurry up because the holiday's coming. And it's a holiday thing for so I am so sleepy. I'm not even making much sense in my head. So
you're saying it clearly.
I can talk in my sleep if I want to. That's why I have to live a good life. I don't want to tell any secrets.
We did that to Granny. Her name's Get Her Done Granny. She had a stream, and she took her sleeping pill to help her to sleep, and she decided to go lie down on the bed with the phone next to her. And everybody on the piano was whispering, Granny, Granny. And before you know it, she was talking back to everybody in her sleep.
Oh no.
And she didn't even realize it until we told her in the morning. It's like, Granny, we had fun with you. She's like, what do you mean? You were talking in your sleep? She's like, no. It's like, yep.
I bet she took that Ambien. Everybody I know that takes Ambien does that.
Oh,
But she doesn't normally go to bed until like 12 or 2. And sometimes if she doesn't, she has real bad insomnia. And if she doesn't take a sleeping pill, she won't sleep. And that night she just didn't want to shut the private chat down, and it was just funny.
There's been times when I would be one night when I was on Boomer's panel, I didn't feel well, and I told him I keep the camera off because I'm laying down in bed already. And you know what happens when you're not feeling well and you're very, very tired and you're comfortable on comfortable pillows in a nice bed, you're warm, you go to sleep. So I went to sleep on his panel and I started snoring loudly. And Irish whiskey was there too. And they said, what is that? And I think they shut it down quick, but they could have had so much fun making fun of me. It just started sounding like, you know, I was mortified when they told me what I'd done. I could have crawled under a rock and died right there.
I've stood there and I've fallen asleep on so many of Boomer's panels. I can't even remember how many.
I was not feeling well and I was tired already. And I was already in bed when I was talking to him. You know, I just had the phone off. I mean, the camera off like now. And oh gosh. And I was on a live panel. Whew. How awful.
Oh, it happens. You're human.
Oh, I'm very, very human.
We all are.
I just continue to prove it every day with silliness like that. I was like, I should have just sleep came over me before I had a chance. I didn't even realize that it was going to happen. The next thing I knew, I was waking up and I was still on a live stream and I was muted by the host. Thank God. I was like, oh my gosh. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So I'm going to just bounce because I'm getting sleepy anyway. I got to put this down. I've been working on it for a few hours.
You don't want to snore in a stream again, huh?
No, I sure don't. But I do want to thank Eileen for inviting me and having me over. It's been great to see you. And it's wonderful to meet you too, FDL Seeker.
Yes, it was nice meeting you.
Do you have another name?
Thursday, Halloween. No, Alicia, you may want to stop back because I'm going to be interviewing City Girl Country Heart.
Okay. Remind me when it gets closer. I have a problem with my brain and I got short-term memory, and maybe TC can be my personal assistant. Remind me again.
Hang on. It's the Thursday after. Hang on. Right, calendar up. Thursday after Halloween, so we're going to the 7th of November, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I won't even remember this conversation tomorrow.
And,
I'm so sorry.
I'll have to remind Tia because I had a reminder of tonight so she don't forget.
Yeah,
Well,
that was so I don't forget. And then
I'm
stream
sorry. My brain just broke that way. It's not on
country
purpose or
girl.
intentional. I mean well.
Is
I've been having.
that 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for you?
Yeah, it's Eastern.
Okay. 10 p.m. EST.
I understand the memory thing. I've been having problems quite a bit over the last year with my memory.
Okay, I got it.
So
That will tell me on the day.
there you go.
I saved it into my calendar.
Yeah, I'll remind you on that day, on that Thursday.
Yeah, people have to remind me of everything, and then I remind everybody else of everything.
I'm the same way. If I don't write it down, I'm not going to remember.
And it's gotten so bad for me, I won't even remember having this conversation.
I'll remind you tomorrow.
Well, that's not going to help. That's like 2 weeks away. You're going to well, I told you 2 weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, well, see how that works?
The nice thing is you can rewatch the stream too.
Yes, because
Oh my god, the one that I done on Girl Skills the night that we were all drinking, I rewatched, I went back the next day when I was severely hungover, and I rewatched because I was like, please tell me I didn't do nothing stupid.
You did
Thankfully I
it.
didn't.
You did things quite well.
I held it together until I passed out.
I like him and I highly respect him, and I'm a friend of his, and I don't go over there very much, but I really like him as a person, and I respect him. He's been very nice to me since I come on to YouTube, and I don't get to his stream very much.
You
But
want to, Alicia, if you want to laugh, go to our fives video, or if you have him on Twitter, look at his tweet when he did the dance for Crazy, did the little striptease act from Top Up.
what?
Yeah,
I have
it was funny.
What channel is it?
It was on our fives channel.
R5?
R5 Adventures.
Adventures.
I still don't understand what you're saying.
Gil done a striptease.
Why?
Just from the top up.
Yeah, it was just from the top up.
Yeah, this still doesn't answer my question though. Why?
They were doing what they call a feature between him and R5. And Crazy Ann was in there.
See, those are the names I don't know. Maybe that's why I wasn't understanding what you were saying.
Yeah,
Crazy Ann's from Norway, I think.
Yeah. And he told her that he would take off his shirt if she was willing to give R5 a super chat. So she super chatted R5, I think, 20. And so he did a little dance, kind of took his shirt off and kind of ran in the other room. It was funny.
Well, the things I miss when I'm sleepy and sick. How about
you missed the one was it last night? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was last night.
I missed the one when you were drinking in on it.
Cap stood there and he was like, kiss my fat ass. So I was like, wow.
I said that the other day. I'm coming out of my shell and I'm getting tired of things.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, I had to say that to somebody not long ago, and I didn't feel bad about it like I normally would, because, like I said, I had a youngest daughter that said to me a long time ago, "My mama don't like you, and she likes everybody." I was like, well, if I get mad at you, you've probably really, really, really done something you shouldn't have done. That's just the whole of it,
No, it's like that song, my mama don't like you, but she likes everyone.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's by that little Justin Bieber knucklehead that needs to be slapped around the face 5 million times.
Oh, come on now. He's just a kid.
He ain't a kid. He's probably about the same age I am.
And your point.
He needs a good slapping.
Yeah, I was talking about your age and your point. You're a youngin'.
He still needs a good slapping.
Ugh.
He thinks it's okay to have a monkey as a pet.
So did
No.
Michael Jackson, and nobody wanted to slap him.
Yeah, he was a weird one as well.
Monkeys throw their poop. It's gross.
Some people like monkeys.
I like monkeys too, but I'm not going to keep one.
No,
They throw poop around.
they do. They have to wear diapers and everything.
I've
I
seen
know.
one in the zoo that scratched its butt and then sniffed it and fell off the log.
People don't, not just that, people don't realize monkeys, like chimpanzees or any other type of monkey, yes, they're cute when they're little, but even zoos do not keep chimpanzees when they're in their adolescent years, like when they get older, because they get very mean.
Mm-hmm.
That was like me in my adolescent years.
What's James Sharp meaning, anyways? Moving on.
Somehow I figured Tia was going to say that. I don't know her very
I
well,
was
but
a
I just figured it.
shit. I was a shit when I was younger. Mellowed out now because obviously I went on to have children, but or a child at least.
We simmer out as we get older.
Well, I'm going to live out the childhood I miss now that I'm older. Look out, world. Here I go.
Awesome, you go for it.
I'm
I still do.
I'm about to break free.
Oh, I still do things like a kid. I still love going to amusement parks to ride the roller coasters, ride in the water slides, have fun.
Mm-hmm. I still have a whole lot of fun left in me, and
Oh, I bet you do, love. I bet you do.
I wasn't talking to you, TC. Just sit down. I'm fixing to put baby in the corner in a minute.
Good night, James the sharpshooter, if you're leaving.
Oh,
that was funny.
I was like, just sit down there and be quiet, young lady.
James, if you want to come up, I can put the link in.
James, would you come up on the panel and talk?
I want to see your pretty face.
I know what he looks like, but I would never share
the
picture.
I wouldn't say pretty face. I would say handsome face. Men aren't pretty. They're handsome.
He has a very handsome face, and I know what he looks like because he sent me his pictures a long time ago when he bought my Dream Walking Angel merch when I first started out. And I would never share that without his permission, but I know who I'm talking to. I do. And he respects me a lot, and he adopted me as his YouTube mama.
Aww.
And I treat him as such too. I always ask how he is, and I care about him. And I thought he got in that tornadoes down there in Texas, but he said no, he lived north of that. And he was okay.
Oh gosh, I didn't even know he lived here in Texas.
Oops. Crap.
I'm in San Antonio.
I guess he's going to.
Texas is a big place, though.
Yeah, it is.
It takes you 3 days to drive through it.
I mean, I've lived in Oregon, and I don't even know how big that is, even now.
I did put that up. What happened? It didn't. There it is.
I might have messed up when I said that, and I didn't mean.
No, you didn't.
No, because there's a lot of us that live here in Texas, but it don't mean nothing.
Well, I didn't mean to out him, though. Now I'm worried I done something wrong. I didn't mean to. I get to talking, and I don't think. I just run my mouth, and Lord have mercy.
Hold on, Nanisha. He's still gonna love you just because you said that he was from Texas.
Well, I didn't want to say what state he was in without his permission. I wasn't thinking, James. Don't divorce me as your mom.
John Isabella is back. Hey, John.
It's a big state. It's okay.
Okay. Well, you know how you
Hey, John Isabella.
Hello, John Isabella.
Yeah, it
Hey,
is a
John.
huge state. There's places here I've never even heard of. Like they have, I think it's called Arkansas, Texas. It's like, where's that?
Everything's big in Texas. Yep.
It's huge here.
It's okay, Ma. Thank you, James. I didn't mean to do nothing wrong. I'm just, absent-minded sometimes.
Hey, if anyone's got a big mouth, it's me.
I don't think you got anything on my mindlessness where I could just get to talking and I hear it at the same time you do. I was like,
You freaking surprised me.
that? I heard that the same time you do. I really did.
You freaking surprise me and you come out with something, I'm like,
I love it when I surprise people because I love being underestimated. That gives me the advantage.
it is, but when I hear you saying some words that you don't normally say, I'm kind of sitting there in silence, but I'm really laughing my ass off.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, yes, she did it.
If I say words out of character, I guarantee you I've been provoked.
Yeah.
I have been pushed into it and I've had enough. I am
exactly.
not perfect. I am only a human being. And, a person can only take so much. And then after a while, you got to say something about it. I'm not Mother Teresa. I have to, every now and then, say enough is enough in my own flowery way.
You gotta admit that Mother Teresa probably only had her own closet where she said things that she shouldn't have. Well, she's only human,
She is.
She can say so much too. I'm not saying she did that, but I'm just saying.
Right. Well, that's what confessionals were made for, and we're not allowed to tell. And she said, God will not put on you any more than you can bear, but I wish He didn't trust me so much.
Right. I wish you didn't trust me so damn much.
Yeah. God won't put on you any more than you can bear, but I wish you didn't trust me so much.
So true.
So, John Isabella says everything is small here. He lives in the smallest state.
Yep, Little Rhodey.
Little Rhode Island?
Yep.
I did not know. This is the first time I've met him, and you spoke of 2 YouTubers that I did not know.
I'm like, yeah, I'm everywhere.
Well, these are people I need to know. Apparently, they don't know me either. And that's tragic. That's just a shame.
I'm in some streams that you probably wouldn't want to be in, Alicia.
I'd surprise you. Don't underestimate me, like I said. I'm full of surprises. It's like
I go to Jimmy C's stream.
Don't know who that is.
Well, he does like late night and once during the day, but
that might be why I miss it. I'm an insomniac streamer.
they get into their streams. I go in there once in a while.
Is it Jimmy C or Jimmy C and Friends?
Jimmy C and Friends.
I'm checking.
He normally has.
Don't tell me your stupid video. Don't go to.
Monica Tiamoni goes in there.
There's Belinda.
What?
Belinda Ostrom is here in the chat.
Belinda.
She says, hi, Alicia, Tia, Eileen, and FDL Seeker.
I can't get my YouTube up on my phone, so it ain't come through this way yet.
Okay. Well, I just
My phone died.
helped y'all read it out loud to you.
I'll check them out.
It's nice to see her. Her and her husband come over to my streams too when I'm busy making stuff. And they're just real nice people. They're very nice to me. And I like them. They're my friends. I'm keeping them. Well, hello.
Hey, John.
Hi, John.
Hello.
Hey, Belinda.
Doing
What
alright.
up?
What's going on?
Not much. Liking the bed.
Good to
Trying
meet
to get my cats over here.
My dog's asleep on the floor. The cats are somewhere in the house.
Mine is sleeping on the bed, and hopefully you can't hear her snoring.
My dog ain't snoring yet. You'd hear him.
I'm not snoring yet either. I'm not snoring yet either.
Oh.
You probably hear me as well.
Catch up. Okay, it's me. It's all good.
Thank you, Alicia. I got you, darling.
I got you, darling.
I can almost hear that in my own accent when I read.
That's my little kitty. She's the youngest. She's about 4.
Oh, what a bee.
So how's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
I'm good. I'm chilling out on the bed.
Yeah, I'm hanging out on my bed.
And I'm sitting back like an old granny. And there ain't no need for that on a Friday.
Yeah, Friday, any day, every day is the same for me now.
I'm doing what I normally do. I'm in like 4 places at once.
Are you? It's all I
Yeah, no, Alicia, Mandy's live.
really. We've got.
Yeah, she's only just gone live.
I've got to go over there and see her too when we get done.
Today
Belinda,
is
you're not the only Yankee.
today to the day is the 5th anniversary. My wife passed away. 5 months.
I'm sorry, honey.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But as we said earlier, you know, it's our kids what keep us going.
It is. My son, he's talking to his friends right now. I can hear him in his room, like all the way across the house. I can hear him talking to his friends, laughing, having a good time. That's what keeps me going.
That's what's got to keep you going. Because
Yeah.
if you're not there, who's going to take care of them then?
Exactly. That's why I'm still here. But I'm just glad. I'm glad he doesn't even. I don't even think he knows. It's 5 months today.
Hmm.
He had a good day at school. He's talking to his friends. He's making plans for the weekend. Everything's good with him, and that's what keeps me going. He's having a good time. That's the most important thing. I think I killed the chat. Then
No, we're just
And
sitting.
I'm doing what I do what I normally do.
I have fun stuff to talk about too.
Good.
I just bought a new car.
What car?
Say Ford Fusion. It's
No.
a all-wheel drive turbo.
What's your favorite car?
Oh, that's my favorite car right now because I just bought it on Monday.
Okay, my favorite car, and I still haven't got it, and I'm probably not gonna ever get it in my entire lifetime, is a 1967 Ford Mustang.
Oh yeah, the '67 Mustangs in that. Oh, it's gonna be hard to find in good shape, but
I know, but I'm a classic girl. I like things that were classic.
what was that, a 302 or
It was
back
a
then?
302, the one that I like.
Yeah, it would be a 302. Or you could get the 6-cylinder, but then you could swap it.
Lay down.
I have the same engine. It's the 2-liter turbo, all-wheel drive. I live in New England, so we get really bad winters. And I had my SUV. It was my wife's SUV, but I gave it to her brother. So I didn't have anything with 4-wheel or all-wheel drive after I gave it to her brother. So I just decided to buy an all-wheel drive car.
It's a hope. It's going to be really nice for you when it starts getting cold.
Yeah, they had a Jeep. Oh, actually, my well, it's still my brother-in-law, but his girlfriend got in a really bad accident with his car, totaled it. They had to buy another car just to get back and forth to work. But Rhode Island, we get really bad winters, and he had a Jeep. The Jeep crapped out or whatever, so I decided to just give him his sister's truck. So now he has that.
That's good that because then it's a lot of memory for him as well.
That's exactly what he said. Like when we were talking about it, I'm like, it's not an old car. It's a new SUV. All 4-wheel drive, V6, all that kind of stuff. It's worth thousands of dollars. And he's like, "What are you gonna do with it?" I was like, "I'm probably just gonna sell it." He's like, "Well, I kind of want to keep it in the family." So I didn't tell him anything. The next day, I signed the title over to him. I'm like, "Here you go, take it. It's yours."
Oh, that just touched my heart. That is so nice. That was his sissy when he was growing up.
It was his sister's car.
Yeah.
It wasn't my car. All I had to do was go to the registry with the death certificate because it was in both of our names. Show that it was, get a new title in my name only. He didn't even know I was doing it. So I got the title in my name. I signed it over to him. I wrote him a letter, sold this car as a gift. I handed him the title, the bill of sale, and just gave it to him.
Oh, that's nice, man.
That's very, very nice. His earliest memories are growing up with your wife, his sister.
Yeah, he's a couple years older than her. She was only 42 when she passed.
Oh, that was most of his childhood. She was in it. So this is something wonderful for him to have of her.
Yeah, that's what he said when I signed it over to him. He's like, this is my sister. This is part of my sister. That was her car for like 2. Well, it was a couple years, 3 years, but it was, he was happy, obviously happy to have it. Being it was his sister's car.
She had such a short life.
Yeah, 42.
Yeah, that's. She's still there with y'all. I'm sure you can feel her at times. She's
Oh
always going to be watching you and the boys.
yeah. Sorry, my cat. Where you going?
15, 22, 31.
She's being a little brat tonight.
95, 100.
So what else is going on with everyone?
Not much. It's 3:15 in the morning where I
Oh,
am.
you're in the UK?
Yep.
Yeah, it's 10:14 here p.m.
It seems like it should be so much later.
It feels late to me. I'm thinking about taking a ride to New Hampshire tomorrow. It's only a couple hours away, just to look at some mountains.
That
There,
sounds.
go for it.
I hope you see a lot of fall and the color changing.
Yeah, we get a lot of color changing here. It's getting late. It's too late in the season for the really good colors. We got a lot of trees with no leaves left anymore. But just to get up, I like the mountains. So I just get up, take a look at the mountains, hang out, maybe grab a hotel room for the night, drive home the next day. Me and my son, obviously.
That's
So,
going to be a lot of fun.
yeah, I've always done that. I've gone up north every year. Recently, I've been going south. I don't even know why. Virginia, Washington, just to go. DC. We went to DC in August. But from where I live, like New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Washington, Delaware, Virginia, I'm all just hours from all those areas.
I'm going to be fat. I'm going to eat a Twinkie right now.
Tia, are you from the States? Are you from the States or have you always been in England?
States.
What state?
I grew up in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, all the way out west.
Yeah, I'm a West Side girl.
I lived in Las Vegas for a while. I went to high school in Vegas.
Oh, cool. It's cool. I'm in about 3 strings too.
Well, Eileen, I'm going to jump off the panel. I'm getting real sleepy, hon. Thank you for having me over here. I've had a good time meeting everybody, and it's been a great chat. A great stream. It's getting late for me.
You get some rest, Noisha. Love you.
I love
This
you
chick,
too. I've
this
missed you.
chick is jumping down too because it's 3:20 in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm thinking about closing it up.
yeah, it's kind of getting late for me only because I'm driving a couple hours away tomorrow. But Tia, it's what time did you say it was?
3:20.
Yeah, that's late.
And she's got a little one. She's got to get up in a couple of hours. So
Yeah,
well,
he'll be bouncing off the walls in a little while, so it'll be fine.
yeah, it was good to see you guys, and
It was great to meet you.
yeah, thanks for having me on the stream.
Not a problem. I don't stream very often. Most of the times I do my streams, they're basically interviews,
Uh,
and they're not all the time. But when I have them, you're welcome to come up after the interview. You're welcome to come on the panel anytime.
all right, thanks. Yeah, I know I've been following you for a little while, but I haven't caught many of your lives. I caught a few of them. I know I've been on them before. Well, not on.
Yeah, I was doing networking as well, but I'm trying to gear everything now, even the lives, towards what my channel's about.
Yeah.
So now the only lives I do is when I interview people that deal with the mental illness by
Uh,
having it themselves or
yeah, I'm bipolar. I've been
no,
on I've been on Social Security disability since 2005 for my
if
bipolar.
if you ever want to do an interview with me, just get me on Twitter and DM me and let me know and I'll set it up. I normally do them on Friday nights at 7 Eastern time.
Oh, I've got stories of how it affects me, but
Well, the main reason why I do the interviews is to bring awareness to everybody else that, doesn't understand it.
yeah,
And
like they don't know like what we go through, and they don't understand how our feelings work, and they're like, why can't you just be happy? You know,
exactly. So
they
the
don't
more
understand. Yeah.
the more people that I can get to come up and do the interview with it, more awareness there is, and you'd be surprised how many people suffer from a mental illness on YouTube.
Oh, I know, I know.
I have 3.
Yeah, 3 mental illnesses or 3
Yep.
family members.
No, 3 mental illnesses all in one person, which is me.
Well, I
Yeah.
have bipolar anxiety, and I forgot what the last
Well,
diagnosis.
what people don't realize is bipolar, schizophrenia, any of the
That's
other
what it
ones
schizoaffective disorder.
all have anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
It's
Mine are multiple personality disorder, unstable personality disorder, and borderline personality disorder, which means technically I'd be clinically insane, but I managed to cope with it.
Well, Tia,
No,
if you want to talk about any of that, we'll set up an interview just to interview you on you this time.
that would actually be a good idea. Because not everybody's gonna understand her diseases. It would be good to have a one-on-one with her and have her explain exactly what she goes through.
Yeah, I don't push people in it though, because I know a
No, you
lot of
don't have to
people don't
push.
like talking about it about themselves.
Yeah.
So,
I'm cool talking about myself. It's pretty simple. It's you piss me off, I'm turning into a whole new different person.
Mm.
And trust me, you ain't gonna like the person that I turn into. But the thing is, I can't always. If you push me that far, I can't always remember what I've done.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
my adopted
that's
son
something
has,
I understand. Like when you go off, you don't even remember. People tell you what you said and what you did. You don't remember you did it. I
Yeah.
understand that completely.
my son has something like that. He has intermittent explosive disorder. My adopted son, and yeah, his real parents didn't deal with it very well. His father didn't really want anything to do with him. And his
Yeah.
mother pretty much let him get away with everything when he was young because she didn't know how to deal with it. And he
Yeah.
comes from a small, tiny little town here in Texas that's like you blink and you pass it. So their medicalness there is not very well. So they didn't teach him very good therapy. But since he's been here, he's been doing pretty good. But I don't coddle him with it.
Well, you can't
Tell him I expect,
coddle them, no. But you gotta understand it's not their fault, but you
yeah,
can't coddle them.
exactly.
No,
You
and
know,
that's what I said
oh,
earlier in the
I
stream.
understand, but there are rules, and he can't
Yeah.
do something and not expect to have consequences to it,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
or
Yeah. My son has anxiety and depression, and his medications and his doctors know and his school knows, but he can't just get away with stuff.
No, I mean it was the same with me when I explained. I would not. The expression over here was cover him in cotton wool, because not to be funny, in the real world, you ain't gonna be covered up in cotton wool. So I'm
yeah.
Yeah.
teaching him now, ready for the real world.
Yeah.
Well, Tia, whenever you want to do the interview, just let me know on Twitter.
I will, but I seriously need to jump down because I'm getting really tired now.
I think that would be a
Yeah,
good interview because I don't understand um all of your afflictions. Like I would like to learn more. So that interview would be good. I know you gotta go to bed, Tia. But I
No,
would like to
I
do
will
that interview.
message. I will message Elaine and get it all sorted, ready for a date that is um beneficial for her and also beneficial for me.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
well, that's one reason why I basically do it on Friday because I know, like, I have a couple of people that I've done them with, like Shauna Sparkles, that she has bipolar, but she's managed hers pretty well, and to a point where she can actually joke about it now with people. And
I can joke about it, but it's not managed.
yeah, but and she's over there in the UK, and so I try to work with them. And a Friday night, it's good for them because they're like ahead of us by what, 6, 7 hours?
Oh,
5.
well, yeah, 5 because she's at
Yeah, so
Blue
it's
Tag.
like
Yeah.
basically the next day, and it's a weekend. Like my next interview is next Thursday, but that's because the one I'm going to be interviewed can't do it on a Friday, so it will be done on a Thursday.
I think we should let Tia go. I'm sure she needs some sleep.
Is that or you're gonna start hearing me snore? So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know with your time, you better get a good night's sleep, or at least what
Oh,
you can.
I get roughly probably about 4 hours a night. Anywhere
Yeah,
between 4 and 5 hours, and that's me done, ready for the next day.
yeah. Well, you should at least try to start it now. I understand that completely.
Right, I'm gonna say good night, all, and I hope you guys have a awesome evening. I'm gonna hit my pillow.
Thank you
Uh,
again, Tia, and you have an awesome evening.
you
Good night.
too.
I'm
Night,
going
Good
to be
all.
closing the stream down anyway. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, John. It was nice meeting you.
Oh, it's
Feel
nice
free to
meeting
come
you
up
too.
again.
Yeah, no, I'll come up, or well, I'll watch you anyway. If you have a link, I'll come up. But if not, I'll still watch.
I normally put the link out there after the interview is done.
Yeah. All right, but it was good talking to you.
All right, you have a good night. Good night, James, my brother. Sleep tight. Love you.
Good night.
Good night.